Scouts. At least I'm prickle.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Road to Cheltenham Clarence House watch-along. We're back after a week off, and we've got the full team, both Jack and Andrew, and we've managed to loan Sean for the afternoon from the finishing line also. Obviously, we've got some decent action today from Haydock and Ascot, as well as the big clash, Energumene versus Jonbon. Looking forward to that. But first of all, over to you, boys. How you doing, Jack? I'll start with you. Obviously, same old. Dundalk last night, couple of winners. How's the punting been this week, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. For the whole of January, I'd be lying if I said I was in profit. Slightly down, but last Friday, the week yesterday and this Friday sort of saved me a touch. I had two decent winners yesterday. My next best coming. Unfortunately, the nap. I'm not sure what happened with them, but two winners on the day. We'll take it. Small profit, but I'm looking forward to today.
Good. Andrew, how's things?
Good, busy, very busy, still very busy, and it's going to be busy until Cheltenham. A small bit stressed and annoyed people, but I'm grand otherwise.
Good. Well, at least you're not on a wet, windy, cold side of a football pitch or rugby pitch today, or unless you might rather be there. Who knows?
No, none today. For first time in God knows how long, I've nothing today. But back to normal next week. 2 matches, Saturday, birthday party Sunday. Can't wait.
Lovely. Sean, how you doing, mate? Mr. Time, Mr. Stopwatch himself.
Jesus Christ.
Very good, Liam. I'd say the day's racing. I'd say we're going to get a few guides. If not, we've already got one. There was a big emphatic move after the first winner at Ascot. But you look at Cargisi, you have Jonbon taking on the Energumene. You're going to have a couple of festival runners out today. So I'd say there'll be a couple of shake-ups to market by the end of the day.
No, absolutely. We may as well skip straight on in that case to our first race because it is off in 8 minutes. That is, obviously, you've just mentioned there, Cargis at the top of the market in the 140. Also put up by Andrew in the week as one of his Cheltenham anti-post bets. Then you got Take No Chances, Betty, who was a winner last time out at Kempton, All the Glory, Casa Nomento, Power Fury, and Brenda's Asking. I know this one probably looks straightforward on paper, and most of us are probably with the favourite. Andrew, what do you make of this race? What are you hoping to see from the Willie Mullins runner?
I'm hoping that she absolutely destroys him, to be honest. Look, she's obviously going to be the mayor's hurdle horse if she wins this. I expect her to win this, and I expect her to win it quite convincingly. Look, it's not rocket science. She's 2 at the 5 right now. But look, the rest of them are miles behind her on what she's achieved. She's been second to Malsborough and Sergino. And look, you could argue that she could have won both if she decided to harness her energy in better ways. Look, she's miles the best in this. There's no point tipping up 2 to 5 favourites. She'd probably win this. And by the looks of it, if she wins this, Lossiemouth will go to the champion hurdle. I know a few people have been saying, "Oh, she's not been seen since Punchestown," but Willie done the exact same thing with Lossiemouth last season. Lossiemouth had a hard enough season. She came out again the season after, around this time of year, at the Cheltenham Trials weekend. I think if she wins this, the other 2 go to the champion hurdle. She's miles the best in that race. I think it'll be a penalty kick for this and Cheltenham.
Fair enough. Jack, how do you see this one?
Yeah, same as Andrew. I think she'll wipe the floor with these. I'll be very surprised if she doesn't. But like the grounds, perfect trip. I'm really excited to see it. No bet proposition. I have backed Casa Nomento. We mentioned on the space the other day. It's 22 to 1 now. You can get 6 to 1 without Cargis. I had a little small punt on that. His win at the Punchestown Festival, he won very nicely. Yeah, hasn't had it all his right way this time around, but he had a similar form line going into the new year last season as well. So I'm hoping with a little break. He last run the mid-November, so with a little break, I'm hoping he can run into second behind Cargis. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing her out. I think she's the mayor's hurdle winner.
No, fair enough. Sean, if she does get beat here, how can she get beat?
The only thing's wrong, I'd say, is the easiest thing to point at. I'd say, look, I was out in Punchestown the last day she ran and she settled and dropped in. I'd say it was probably easier after going to Cheltenham Festival and Aintree Festival, and that being the third run in quick succession. You might be able to get a good hold of her and drop her in. First time out this season, I'll be hoping she's not fresh and she does continue to race correctly. Look, she doesn't have to give any weight away in this race, like bar the ones in behind, but like she's not giving away 8 or 9 pounds to a field. You get me? They're all within a couple of pounds of each other, and she hasn't a big weight swing. I just thought the Skelton horse, if anyone's looking for a bet without, or maybe if you can get some, not going to get 3 plays. If you get betting for a bet without. I just thought the race she ran in, she won at Weatherby. She then went to the point in 5th where she was beaten well. But she came back the last day in a handicap, and you'd look and say, oh, she's come toward. I don't know what to make of that. I think she's run a very good race. We'll do one that day. She's, I think she'd be piped for a race at the handicap at the festival. In second, you had Joy Hughes. She's up the top of the market for a Betfair hurdle. And I think given them substantial weight, I think you might look back at that. That was a very smart handicap. So I wouldn't be giving up on her just yet.
Fair enough. I agree with you, Sean. Obviously, she was very keen. It was her first start, obviously, over in Ireland last year. And that's probably kind of what was her undoing in the end. And she can be quite fresh. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you, boys. We've got a few comments coming in. Matt, first of all, is asking if we're live. I wish we weren't, Matt, because I'll tell you what, I could give you every single winner of every single race. But yes, we are live, mate. Jack, apparently you've been looking at the markets for the Oscars. What have you had a bet on?
Jesus Christ.
Bo gave us this weird bet. What's his name? I don't know his name anyway. So someone to win the Oscars anyway. So I put him in a six-fold, 4 football teams. The Oscars bet and the number at 10-1 for the triumph. So I'm waiting on the Oscars. The lad to win the Oscars, who's 1-3 now, to be fair. And I've got 68-1 on the number. So
happy days. It sounds like an absolute bow bet. That does. If there's such a thing, that's what it should be known as now.
To be fair, he is shit up with those type of bets. He had, what was the Christmas winner? The Christmas number 1.
I did see that. Yeah.
Never won that. They had that. It's stupid bets, but they do work.
No, fair enough. We'll come back to La Lumba a little bit later. Are there any concerns from any of you with regards to Willie's horses travelling and coming over? Just obviously, we saw Ballyburn at Christmas and Lossiemouth. Most would suggest that they performed a little bit below par. Would there be any concern about Cargeese coming over? Obviously, did she come across last season for the Triumph? Someone remind me.
Came across twice last season.
Twice last season.
To me, there'd be no worries. Like at Christmas time, is obviously some of his horses were running below par. What's he operating? 31% strike rate in the last 14 days. There's no worry. She's been over here. She's done it. The only thing that probably will get her beat is herself. But I think there's vibes are that she's a bigger, stronger mare, going on what Paul Townend said and Ruby on the road to Cheltenham, that they barely recognised her when she came in. She was after growing into herself, a bigger, stronger mare. That could be a bad thing in a way. She had to gain more strength, so Paul might be up on the bucket end even for a lot longer than he was as she was a juvenile. But for me, there's going to be no worries whatsoever with her. Yeah. I think the one that's going to be following her home may be Castle Momento. Look, if you take her 2 runs out of this season, she was in cracking form last year. She was treated 4 out of 5 last season. Look, her run over hurdles, she went up 7-4 at Kempton, and look, you can forgive her that run. She made absolute balls to the first, and her confidence was knocked again. She went for a stint over fences, then just wasn't her cup of tea. So back over hurdles now, I think a 22-1. Was she 7-2, 4-1 without the favours? I think I'll actually have a punt on that right now.
Fair enough. I was quite impressed with Betty. However, the form hasn't quite been franked earlier from my earlier selection. Funny enough, that ran in the 120. I was hoping that would be the case. So if there was a betting without market, I'd potentially have a look at her in terms of her price. With regards to just the juveniles generally from last year, can you remember a year where the juveniles were so much better than the novice hurdlers from obviously from the same year? The difference in ability, the contrast is just stark, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like you could see it early on. I know it's summer racing, but Galway sort of showed you that when the Boring won the Galway hurdle, and then it's just continued on ever since then. And the warning signs were out early, like Slade Steele was beaten early in the season, and Mystical Power was obviously beaten first time out. And I think from that point on, people were probably keen to take them on and say that the juveniles probably are as strong as the. I don't know the last time. Like I'm only, I'd say new enough to the game, but in terms of the last like probably 5-10 years, I can't remember the juveniles being as good as.
No, absolutely.
I agree. I think they're probably they're head and shoulders to me. I'm just trying to get up the Supreme from last year. Look, you can say with even the bar you take out Brighter Days Ahead, the rest of them have been a lot worse than we've expected. Like, you can even throw Ballyburn into that. He got absolutely walloped at Kempton. The Supreme field, you Slay Steel, where is it? Mystical Power. You Slay Steel, who won. Mystical Power, Firefox, Asian Master. Mr. Gift came out and won no offense, fair enough. Favorite Fortune, Super Sunday looks like one he'll improve this season. Tully Hill and so on. That's a bad crop. None of them are going to be sent in the world of light whatsoever. I think you won't go wrong in following the juveniles this year, and I think Cargeese will even back that up today.
Yeah, and like you look at the ones that are winning, they're still a novice company. You know, anyone who's made the jump out into the big bad open company are the ones who fell down on their face.
Yeah. With regards to those, so other than Ballyburn in the novice divisions last season, who do you think is a standout horse from last year's novice division, other than obviously Ballyburn?
Dancing City. And I think the Albert Bartlett as a whole. There's apart from the actual winner, there's a few from the Albert Bartlett I could take out of it.
I think you're probably right, Jack. Sean?
Is it a cheat to say the Mayor's novice? Say Brighter Days Ahead, or is that we talking about the Geldins?
The Geldins.
Yeah, we're talking about the Geldins. Yeah, I'd say it probably could be Dancing City Jukebox Man. I'd say Jack is nail on the head there with the stairs. Stella Story, look, he just hasn't jumped the fence, so I wouldn't give up on him in a wide open stairs hurdle. He might be able to get it back together, and maybe, I don't know, I think I've seen he had an entry in the stairs hurdle, and maybe dropping back down mightn't do him any harm.
I know you're a fan of the horse Dancing City, Andrew. Would you be in agreement?
Yeah, I just put up my too. Lovely, bloody delay. Oh, look at Cargeese already, fantastic.
They're very late, aren't they?
Yeah, delay already. Sorry, go back to the Bartlett and Dancing City. Yeah, I think he's only going to improve for racing this season. You'd like Lecky Walks in Gidley Park, Johnny Who, he's a yak anyway, and High Class Hero. They've all come out and won. High Class Heroes pulled up on it. They're starting to show proper form. Stella Story has sent him back over hurdles. Jukebox Man's been winning really well over fences. And I think Dancing City's just an out stayer. I will be interested if they do bring him to the DRF. But honest prices, it looks unlikely. Because he's 8.
Do you know what I actually heard them saying? I actually heard them saying that they're looking at the Silly Oils for Imperial Pass. That'd be deadly interesting now, because that'd split up Ballyburn and obviously Imperial Pass in terms of they don't have to face each other at DRF. And I'd say Dancing City definitely probably comes into play then. You know, like you run two then.
If they ran Dancing City against Ballyburn, I'd back Dancing City every day of the week.
Yeah.
I think Ballyburn. Look, Ballyburn, yes, good novice hurdler, but we've seen this year in year out with likes of bloody Sam Crow, Envy Allen is probably what he's done, but he's an exception to the rule. But you go back and look at all the big horses that have been battering novice hurdlers, and they come out the next season into open company or novice chasing. They seem to lose their gloss in this. I always look at novice hurdlers, the ones who've kind of improved throughout the season that haven't really won in the greater races, but have progressively got better. They're the ones I want to keep on the right side of going forward. And the same with Ballyburn. I'll always take on these superstar novice hurdlers. It's just, I think the progression as they're younger to when they get to 7, 8, it's like I compare it to football, young teams of football. And I've seen it myself with my own kids. You see young kids who are unbelievable at 8 and 9, and by the time they get to 12 and 13, all the ones that he was miles ahead of are gone past him.
Yeah. Genetics play a part, don't they? As they will do, obviously, with everything. As others grow, and
they grow physically. Their abilities get better, and then it all just merges in. And the one that was miles ahead when they're younger kind of come to their level and drop below them. And that's the kind of the way I look at it. Horses as well. Horses they're physically need to grow into themselves. Their ability comes out. They're not all like a horse is going to be a horse that's miles ahead. Look at Goshen, for instance. He was miles ahead as a juvenile, and the rest of them just caught up the year after.
Yeah.
The younger you are, the better you are when you're younger. I don't think there's longevity. I think the ones that are okay and younger will catch up to them physically and talent-wise.
You see that on the flat. Well, I know we're all about jump racing, but on the flat, some of the champion 2-year-olds can't even run. Can't even finish. When the 3 season after it happens, doesn't it? But
don't train on particularly. And obviously, that form for Dancing City could be Frank today. I'm not sure what the plan is. I'm hoping they go down the National Hunt Chase route. But if he puts his best foot forward, I think that he would take all the beating later today. Olympic Man, who was, of course, 4th behind Dancing City on his first chase start. Just on another side note, as Andrew kind of intimated, and I'm sure you're all seeing at home, Cargis was well keen going down to the start, putting the arms out, but they are off and running.
She's very keen as well.
I think she's not too bad now.
Yeah, I actually said she wouldn't have been as bad as I thought she would have been. I won't lie.
She seems to have settled for now the race has begun, but saying that.
She's all right, lads.
Oh, you know,
they didn't bat an eyelid on the exchange at all. There was no real money to lay her.
It's not like we weren't expecting her to do it. She's
Exactly.
done it every time she's raced, and she's ended up being very close to horses who are far inferior than the rest of these.
She's holding back. Right, where is?
If she gets beat, do you reckon they'll drop Lossie down?
No, I'd say they'll stick around because she could be coming home. Like I'm not saying winning, but I'm saying like she could be torn into Paul Townend's mount. Like today is 2 miles. Just to note that it's not 2.5.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you reckon it'd be an issue if she'd struggle to stay the trip? 2 mile 4. I don't think she would.
I don't think.
Remember
I don't
this
think
time
against inferior opposition. I think she'd be fine.
Yeah.
If it was against Brighter Days Ahead and them, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
If they went a fair clip, that probably would settle her. But how far? Look.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. That's why like in the mirror. Yeah, in the mirrors, like a Brighter Days Ahead goes there, she hasn't got what's his name?
King of Kingsfield.
Yeah, she hasn't got King of Kingsfield set the pace, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
I'd be shocked now, and I'm honest if the two of them didn't turn up in a champion hurdle.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I think Lossie will, but I think I would be shocked if Brighter Days Ahead turns up in it.
Same. I reckon Black.
Just because of how old he is, like he doesn't give a scrap. He just wants a grade 1, whether it's a champion hurdle or mare's hurdle.
But then you think he's never won the champion hurdle. Correct me if I'm wrong now, but I don't think he's ever won the champion hurdle. This could be his last chance to win one. Jesus Christ, give it a crack. If she doesn't win, there's the grade 1 mares at Punchestown.
I do you think, Andrew, from their perspective, they even really, as daft as this sounds, care though about the champion hurdle? Everything's geared towards staying chases, isn't it? From Jigginstown, I don't think they're that bothered if they don't win it.
Sorry, she's swinging in here.
Yes.
If she came around that bend and he just had a double handful in his hand.
Oh my God!
Paul just needs to pop these like that. Is she going to pick up?
Yeah, she's fucking loaded.
Is she going to pick up?
She's not picking up.
And now she's trapped. I don't think she's going to get up.
She's not going to get up.
There you are. What do we know? She was a lay all day. Second.
There you go.
Well, I'm behind you.
I tell you what, Liam, you know what horse to be looking at now.
Jesus.
Take no chances. Has managed to win, giving her £1.
Well, that was terrible.
That was terrible. She come there absolutely swinging as well. Keelan Woods. Right, I need to change my website because I'm well behind you. What site are you on?
Betfair.
Yeah, I was on Betfair myself, but you're on miles ahead of me.
I'm on Paddy.
Well, an upset in the first in that case. we'll skip over because we've only got 5 minutes until the next is off. Now, I think this is a smart horse for the Skeltons. Won really well his first two runs over hurdles. He's a horse that I didn't think would be a million miles away. And to be fair, he wasn't. He finished 8th in the Champion Bumper last year. He's probably the best of the British. Royal Infantry. This is obviously a Supreme trial. Sean, obviously, we've got the first one wrong, so perhaps not everything at the top of the market's going to win, but can you see anything away from this lad, or do you think that this one's a little bit more solid than Cargeese was in the last?
Well, yeah, to be honest, I thought the pair of them were absolutely bomb-proof, but clearly not. She was keen early on and got found out. But Royal Infantry, look, like, how can you be brave after the last one? But I thought he won very well. I thought maybe heavy ground might have been an issue, but he went and proved that wrong the last day and absolutely battered the Honeyball horse out of the way. And then Peak Nick has came out and ran behind that then the next day. So I just think the form, I think his form is head and shoulders above these decent bumper form, and I'd be disappointed if he couldn't win this, I'd say. But as you probably touched on earlier, I think Aintree might be a planner. I don't know if it's necessarily going to Cheltenham is going to be his thing.
No, fair enough. From my perspective, I'd like to see Peacenik run a really nice race here. Obviously, at silly prices, I threw up Regent Stroll at 100 to 1 for the Supreme. He finished 21 lengths behind him. He had some decent form in bumpers, or what was perceived to be at that time, 7 lengths behind Tishan on debut. He's then followed that up with a win beating Crest of Fortune. So I'm hoping that he can run a really nice race here. And then when we do see Regent Stroll back out, hopefully he is more of the horse that we expected from him. Jack, how do you see this one? Dedicated Hero 8 to 1 in behind Royal Infantry is now 2 to 7. 10s Kulanara. Peacenik is 20s. Walking on the Dream 28. 66s and 150 the other pair. That's really interesting, Jack, if we could hear you though.
Yeah, there we go. One turn off. Sorry, yeah. I think it's Royal Infantry's to lose. Probably, would you say he's probably the best 2 mile novice hurdler in the UK got, probably? One of them anyway. He's got to go and win. He'll like the ground. Perfect trip. Course and distance winner. He'll take a good one to beat him, but I don't think he'll be beat. I mean, the price says that for itself, but just a watching brief.
Fair enough. Andrew?
Yeah, just a watching brief. He's a good horse, not one to get me excited. If there was one to probably follow him home, I'd probably put up pen check, but there's nothing going to be really told towards Cheltenham or where he'll go for the Supreme. Don't think he's a Supreme horse, but yeah, I'm not too excited, if you can tell.
Say again, sorry.
And I've fallen for it. I'm just trying to find, is there any market move now? What's happening in the...
It doesn't look like it. Royal Infantry is pretty strong.
No, not that, in the mares.
Oh, in the mares after the Cargeese defeat.
Oh, the mares, yeah. Good question, actually.
Scotty suggesting Lassie Mouth, as you suggested when she's beat. Will they re-divert her? I did think at the start. I think it's also dependent on how impressive Constitution Hill is in the International next weekend. Yeah. I think if he really shows that he's come on for the run at Christmas and absolutely bolts in, I think they'll think twice. I know Lassie Mouth's a good few pounds better around Cheltenham than probably any other track. She's been ultra impressive there. But I just think that we'll end up with a clash of both the mares in the mares herd, and that we build as a brilliant clash. We're seeing brighter days ahead in Lassie Mouth, and we all know they should both be in the champion hurdle. You can't keep putting up championship performances and not running in the championship races. It needs addressing, but that's probably...
I think you're literally off your head. You think that's going to happen. It doesn't matter what Con Hill does. They will not avoid him.
They'll take him on irrelevant, both of them.
Yeah, sure. What difference is it going to do if he's having a hack around Cheltenham against nobodies? Where they know where their horse was nowhere near her best, and she was still 2 lengths behind him.
Yeah, but there's improvements come from him from that race at Christmas, isn't there?
Who's to say there is? Who's to say there's not? And who's to say that? It's all a game of ifs and buts and whys, and they know he has like he has. Willie knows that she's miles better than what she showed at Kempton. Nicky probably does there's
That-
more.
that mile's
but
better,
then again, they know Lossiemouth is unbeaten around Cheltenham. Why would you avoid her? Avoid him where he looked beatable.
Oh no, I hope that they don't. They should be competitive and want the competition and have a go at it. It's the champion hurdle at the end of the day. However, I just don't think that they will. I think they will end up reverting back to the mares. And also, Lossiemouth's best if she's ran miles below her form or her peak is still not good enough to beat Constitution Hill.
But
No,
she's
her
only.
career is-
She's a mare that wins by only doing what she has to do. She'll never pull miles clear. She'll go past in the front and she'll just start the way to the line.
Yes, I'm in agreement.
It's like what Honeysuckle used to do. Honeysuckle hit the front. When she hit the front, she was looking around left, right, and centre. She'll only do what she has to do.
But Honeysuckle's a high 150s mare. She'd get blown away by Constitution Hill.
It says what numbers? Based on numbers.
Numbers, eyes, times,
numbers to me. Look, listen,
records.
numbers to me are somebody's opinion. That's all they are. Numbers are someone's opinion. Sitting in an office in the racing post, 2 or 3 people, lads. Yeah, I like that horse. I'm going to give it an extra £6 because I like it. That's all it is.
Track
That's
record.
literally all it is. You can tell me every what way around. That's all it is.
What about times, sectionals, data?
Time
that shows-
sectionals are a load of shite over jumps.
Well, facts aren't for everyone, are they, Andrew?
Right. We go back to, and I'll always come back to this. There was a Paul Nolan horse that ran the same day over the same trip against Factor 5. The Paul Nolan horse, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, betting by what, 19, 20 lengths on times?
Paso Vega, yeah.
Yeah. Betting by 19, 20 lengths.
But-
same track, same course, same day.
But I think
That horse hasn't won a race since. Yeah, you can shove your cock. You can see how far time flies by throwing it out your window.
There's nuance to it. Absolutely. Something can be slowly run. Something can be the pace of the race can be completely different. So you have to apply nuance. It's not just a literal, and then you take that for verbatim for what it is. You do have to apply nuance to it. But I personally feel it's really useful, and I've made no secret about the stuff that Race IQ are doing around jumping and lengths gain jumping and how that correlates. And I think it builds more of a picture. The more of a picture and the more info you can have, surely the more informed you can be, and then therefore you can hopefully pick more winners. Like Constitution Hill.
I just think it's making it a hell of a lot more complicated than it needs to be. Horse racing isn't an algorithm. They're animals.
Yes, true. Yeah.
I just think that everyone's trying to make it to it. Look, if you're into it, fair enough. I'm not going to say don't do it, but it's not for me in the slightest.
Sounds like
I'm just saying. Look, I'll always voice what I think, whether people like it or not.
So you should.
What I think about it. I'm not going to.
I think if there's loads of unknowns.
Oh
and
yeah, I
you don't-
agree. Go on, sorry, Jack.
If there's a lot of unknowns and you don't know, like if they're very the new or the raw, if you don't know the ability of a horse, I think it's good to go off that part of the stage. Where I'm trying to think of an example. I will think of an example, but when there's an unknown horse and you don't know how good the horse is, it's good to look at times and all that and reins to give yourself a comparison before its next run. That's the way I use it. Like with horses that have been around for 4 or 5 years, it doesn't really bother me so much times. I like to do it with my own eyes. But I think, especially with say juveniles, for instance, you'd probably want to check the times of that mare's hurdle then with the Lumbers time, just to give a comparison for the next time runs, because we've only seen them run once. That makes sense.
Jack, just getting to the business end of this race, it looks like Royal Infantry's at it, and we might have another short price turned over.
Yeah,
He's going quite well in front, isn't he?
Oh, he's beaten, isn't he?
He's got loads left. Well,
He's beaten.
yeah, he's beat. Another one beat. Peacenik.
Go on, Peacenik. Regent Stroll, is the odds on for the Supreme yet? Go on, Peacenik.
Oh, he's not playing.
Oh, he's beaten. God bless him.
Good jump.
Oh. Dedicated hero, is it?
Looks like he's
What's the one on the inside? Yeah.
Bubbles first, left, right, and centre.
Ouch, another one gone.
The blogger must be absolutely after losing his stones already.
I think a lot were probably on the short price treble, weren't they? Obviously, the Lumber being the first leg that went in, then onto the Cargisi, and then over to Jonbon later in the big one. What did we make of that? I know we turned into the Saturday argue along rather than the Saturday watch along instead.
Wasn't it fun though? It was fun.
It was fun, yes. Sean, what do you make of that? I suppose you didn't really have Royal Infantry in your shortlist, given that you would prefer to work towards the top of the market anyway, and given how the Supreme's shaping up, I'm not sure he'd be on your shortlist anyway for a grey run at Cheltenham, would he?
Yeah, no, he wasn't. But I don't know what's gone wrong there. His jump was a bit skew with, but you wouldn't really say ground since he went through it the last day and they've been picked up by a horse that I don't expect to be knocking around that festival grade once.
Yeah, no excuses at all. He should have won there. No excuses. He should beat fairness square.
Can I throw something there? That Dan's getting the last is not really firing on all cylinders, is he?
I mentioned probably on a few watch-alongs ago, and I suppose I can get your take on it again. Do you think, like, I look at back to the likes of Loader Sudden, he's probably out on 3-4 occasions, like early season. Well, 3, I think, hasn't he? He had 3 starts over fences. And a lot of his horses, you look at Country Mile, one that comes to mind. He's already had 4 runs this season. These are all obviously novice chasers or novice hurdlers. And do you think potentially that his horses could blow up just because they've had too much of a taxing early part of the season? They probably need a break and a freshen up, or you're going to get this dip in form like you've just suggested, Andrew. I'm not sure if you think that he might pay the price for that further down the line this season when obviously the big festivals come about.
Yeah, I think we had a conversation about this on one of the spaces, and I think we came to the conclusion that maybe it's gearing up to get prize money in early before the trainer championship for the Cheltenham Festival, because they probably don't have the ammunition to live with Gordon and Nicky and Henry and Willie. So, and then you have the whole January flu jab things, is that they're affecting some horses more than others, and you have to take a lot of things into consideration in January. And this time of year, it's a weird kind of for horses with the flu jabs. You look at Paul Nicholls' horses, they're notoriously bad in January, and it looks like that your man that's cuffing the same cloth of Don Skelton is more or less doing the same thing he is. But look, the horses that were winning the start of the season probably are not good enough anyway to go to Cheltenham.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
I think the UK in a whole. I think sorry, I was moving this forward. I think the UK in a whole, I think, is sort of starting to, even Nicky, Nicky's got a few nice ones. It looks like he just released one of them. I think, apart from then, I think the UK, I know you were saying they get a lot closer to Cheltenham. I'm the opposite. I just think there's not unexciting at all. Because the Gino and Constitution Hill, but apart from that, Jonbon as well. Apart from that, I can't really. Gold Cup horses, I just think they're going that way. I think they're going down, to be honest. Not so much Nicky Henderson, I think the rest. And I think, especially Paul Nicholls, I think, like Harry Denham and all that will all go past him now. I think Paul Nicholls has had his days.
Yeah, you're staying chasers. That division is quite weak. And I think I mentioned Sounds Russian. He's one of he'll be in the top 10. Highest rated British staying chasers, which kind of shows you the level that they're at. And Ahoy Senior will still be in there. The only progressive horse I think that you'll find will be Grey Dawning, who obviously potentially should have won the Betfair Chase. I think obviously the King George was definitely a bounce factor from that performance at Haydock that day. But yeah, in the other areas though, I think potentially we are a bit stronger. We'll skip on anyway. We'll move on to the 215 at Ascot. Sean, obviously a bit of a puzzle to try and pick apart. Cop Mask, who looks pretty progressive, 9-2 favourite. Martador, so we've got Joint Fabs. Martador is also there currently at 9-2. Bad, 6-1. Phlegmatic 6s. Scarface 6s. Teresita is a horse who's been really well backed over the course of the last few days. Was installed at 20s. He's now 8.5-1. And then you've got Hitman 11s, 14 bar, 16 bar now. Tetley just changing price. What do you make of this who do you think is the most likely one to nab it and win?
Yeah, Liam, I think Tara is the each way. What did you say she was there? I was just looking on the machine. She was still 10. I wasn't sure.
17 to 2.
Yeah, look, I think she's been running some good races. I like when these mares are in form and they can keep going. They turned a new book, and that's what they've done with her. She started off with Chase Mark. I'm just looking here down in the low 110s, 112s, and she's got herself up to 134 now, rapidly improving. She had a nice little break after November where she was beat by Gemaran, and we seen what he went on to do then after he went and won the December Gold Cup at Cheltenham. That gave her a good form boost. She gave away £7 that day as well. So I think, look, coming in here, looking back now, you'd say she's giving weight away to the December Gold Cup. Not a bad run, I don't think, down in Tour. Coming back in here against a couple of horses who I think it's in around at a level, and I think she's not a bad bet each way.
She seemed to travel quite nicely around there, Sean. Do you think it was just the undulations of Cheltenham as well as the weight carrying that meant she struggled to get home? She just seemed to peter out, didn't she, after kind of 2 out when she looked like she may come and win it?
Yeah, she did have a big weight that day. Perhaps it could have been that back down to a nice racing weight here, 10 stone 6. That could help her. And look, you're coming around. I see most of her runs, like she's adaptable on ground, so I wouldn't be too worried. And I'd say Ascot's probably a bit on the good to soft side rather than the soft side.
Fair enough. Jack, is there anything that you fancy in here? What do you make of this handicap?
I went with Phlegmatic, only a small bet. I think that he was very eye-catching the last day. He was on the watch-along, wasn't he? But he wasn't on the watch-along with us. He ran when we were on when we were doing the watch-along. I think they dropped back down to 2 fair. Drop back down 2 furlongs will help him a lot.
You're into that lag in there.
Wasn't it? Sorry for me accent either. Yeah, I think of a mark of 132. He's been dropped £2 for that little run. He didn't run a bad race. I just think he didn't get home as better than the others. He's run over the tip before. He loves it round Ascot, so I think 13 to 2. A 13 to 2 on Racing Post. I'm not sure if that's updated or what, but I've had a bet on Phlegmatic. I think he'll be in the places. I'm not one for each way, it's a 6 to 1 and all that. But any muggy each way out, muggy each way backers out there. He's in each way better not, and I think he'll be in the frame for sure. I think to drop back down to 2 furlongs will benefit him a lot.
No, absolutely. I agree, Jack. He needs to go right-handed. Ascot and Kempton are his tracks. I was very close to putting him up as a bet today, but I just didn't manage to convince myself to put him up because I think he may be targeted for the Adonis meeting at Kempton. But yeah, I hope he goes close here for you, mate. Andrew, you're staring out the window looking as if you're looking for some inspiration from above for this race. Is there something that you fancy or not?
Yeah, the inspiration from above is my big screen on the other side of me. I just have a Racing Post home there and I was just going through this. Like I've already back caught Mask here last night. He is good form around here. He's third, second, first, and there's a massive weight swing from when he was beaten by Matador last time at Kempton. He's the one that probably all have to beat. He's 3 from 3 at Ascot, but he's 11 pounds higher than the one last time out, and then he got beat by Soul Icon at Kempton. I think you look at Phoenicia Williams when he was winning when she was going through that purple patch. She's kind of coming out of that now. Caught Mascari Moore's heart in the first, well backed against. What's the name? La Bamba. But he done everything wrong in that race, and he still managed to run well. So it looks like Gary's horse are starting to come back into a bit of form. And I think 92, 5 to 1. I think he's the one that had to beat. Step up and trip suiting last time. Steps up further again. I think it'll suit him a lot more than with Matador. He'll be the one I will be on. I think I see him being very hard to beat. Bad will probably be second or third. He just hates winning.
Yeah,
he'll travel there on the dicky coming last and find Zilch. But I think if Top Mask gets into a rhythm, I think he'll be quite hard to beat. 10 stone 5, lovely weight around here.
No, fair enough. Would anyone give Hitman a chance at all? I know he's a horse that some like and others just think he's completely unreliable, which I'd probably be in the second camp. But second behind Manila Drama in the old row, and last year put in a nice performance where he did actually push Shishkin before his turbo kicked in the Denman chase, but finished in front of the likes of Protectorat, Sam Brown, does he know? And they were a good few lengths clear of some of those. Would anyone give him an each way squeak in this off top weight?
No.
I think I did look at him, and I think if he is there to win, I think he'll take some beating. But I think he'll be waiting for entry for them. I think it'll be a fitness test now, and he'll come to entry. I don't know where he'll go with entry, but he's off 156. They probably could send him into the handicap company. Maybe put him over the national fences for the top him. I'm not sure, but I think he'll have better days ahead. I think he'll have bigger days ahead. I feel he could listen if he's there to win today. He'll take some beating. He's probably the best nation he is on ratings. It's clear to see that, but I don't think I couldn't risk it at the price. I think there'll be days elsewhere for him.
No, fair enough. I know we touched on it in our WhatsApp chat earlier, Andrew, so I may as well just quickly talk about it. We've got another 5 minutes before the off. Paul Nicholls, he clearly can't become a poor trainer overnight. Obviously, you don't produce horses like he has in the past and win the races that he has. He's obviously been a fantastic target trainer. I don't know if it's a case that you've never really took to him. We have yards that some of us prefer and others that we don't. But you're not overly impressed with just generally how his are firing. I know he would have flu jabbed them all in January, but just generally this season, I know you haven't been overly impressed, which I think is probably for the most of us as well.
I was a fan of him. Like, he was the leader of the pack when I came into racing McCourto, Big Bucks, and all them kind of horses. So he would have been the train I would have lashed onto back then. I just think he's really after falling off the face of the earth in regards to that. It's not like he's not getting the money to buy the horses. He's spending hundreds of thousands on each horses, and he's just not producing the goods. And like, people can say, oh, the best horses are going to Ireland and whatnot, but if we delve deep into it and what he's grabbing and the price tags on him, if we want to put price tags on all these things, a machine, because they paid X, Y, and Z from point to point, he's just not producing the goods. When's the last time he had more than one Cheltenham Festival winner? When's the last time? When
was the last time he had a Grade 1 winner? Having Brave Man's Game.
Yeah.
When's the last time he had a Grade 1 winner? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably one that I can't think of, but
like this is not a slag on Paul Nicholls at all, person. It's just what I was seeing from where he was to where he is now. It's been a huge dip off. Whether he's not keeping up with all the nuance, new things coming into racing, like the way Willie would, the way that probably you can see it now with the likes of Harry Darman and Dan Skelton over in the UK, they're starting to latch on to all the new things coming in. And Paul Nicholls probably is so stubborn and he's set in his ways that he'd be very hard pressed to change what he'd done back when the quarter starred them and Big Bucks days. Just drill him. But not every horse are iron horses like them. Some horses just are not able to take it, and I don't know some of
them need a Ledley King training program, don't they?
Yeah. Hey, Liam, look what
Andrew Halligan training program. Hand over shoulder, you're still good boy. Your body's falling apart, but you're still there.
He said that Regent Stroll's probably the only good horse we've got coming up out of the stable. And I know you put him up for the Supreme and 100 to 1, but if that's your best horse coming out of the stable, then you're in trouble.
Like, can we go back? Like, when's the last time he had a standout horse? Like, you can say Brave Man's Game, but he wasn't really like, oh my God, look at this thing.
Yeah, I think he was in his novice chase season, wasn't he? And he went on to win a King George, so you can give him that. Other than that, yeah.
But I can't remember what I heard.
State Star won the Turners and then won the Ryanair.
Ryanair, yeah. No, he didn't win the Ryanair. He didn't win the Ryanair.
But this is the kind of point then as well. What did he do to them to make them win them? Because the longevity after that, it was like, bang, I'm gone. The longevity is gone. Is he just drilling them so hard to have these ready to run for their lives that he's trained them in a certain way that they just can't recover from it? Like, you have the likes of Willie, who's for some mad reason can train them for Cheltenham, Aintree, and Punchestown, and then they come back the next season.
But Andrew, you know more than me and us because you've been around horses. But is there not like a scouting program with horses where like people go out to France and all that and find these?
Yeah, see that's where my issue come in terms of obviously Tom Malone would be his right hand man, and look, I'm not saying Tom Malone's bad at his job. He's picked out multiple, but I'll just give you some examples like De La Haye. Look how many horses he pointed out for him. I don't even want to dream to tell you how much De La Haye has spent on horses. The return he's got has been, obviously he has millions to burn and money ain't an issue, because if it was, you would have pulled that a long time ago. But I always just looked at the example of De La Haye, like he's spending the money, but they're just not buying the right ones. And I don't know, when you go to the sales, you see them, they're bidding up, they're under bidders, and Gordon and maybe someone else is picking up the horses that maybe they're the ones you should be getting, and they're going higher for other ones, and they're leaving them out high and dry with some of the big point to point. Like even the one from this season.
One's gone at the first.
Late Night Pass, was that? Did you see that one?
Late Night Pass.
You are after Brighton and living daylights out of me.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened there.
I was a nasty ball, that. Not the horse, the jockey just fucking went about 20 feet in the air. Made it into the ground. Sorry,
was it bad?
He won't be getting his handicap mark reduced for that fall at the first, I don't think, for a tilt at the cross.
It's mad how some horses just can't jump conventional fences, but when they get around the cross country, they just switch on.
Those
Mr. Coffee was one. He fucking loves the Grand National fences. I know he doesn't like winning either, but he couldn't jump a fence. But he fucking pings those Grand National fences for fun.
Poor chap still lost.
I know, 4 horses, still novice.
He must have not won in about 3 years, has he?
He hasn't.
Who, Mr. Coffey? He's never won over fence.
He's still a novice over fences.
Yeah, he's about 12.
He come cantering in the was when Corach Ramble won the Grand National. He come there absolutely cruising to the lead, pinging the fence.
He finished like 8th or something, did he?
Yeah, but does what he always does and just doesn't get over the line. He was half eye. If it was any other horse the last day though, he was very eye catching, weren't he? Like in the cross country at Cheltenham, was it December? Very eye catching. If it was any.
He'll always find a way to choke it though.
Yeah.
I think they've gone out with some.
Go on, Sean.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm praying that they went out with some clip here. I see Teresa's right at the back, but a couple of the market leaders are out the back as well. And I wouldn't be keen on Kansas City Chief. And as you said, bad can be weak in a finish. So perhaps they have just went out a little bit too quick here.
Yeah, if I was sat on Jack's back for Phlegmatic, I'd be pretty happy. He slapped up against the rail. He's going the shortest way round, and he's in a pretty handy position, isn't it?
Do you remember when Bad came over first and he was backed like the feet was out of question for Poodles?
Who was it? Tony Williams.
I was looking at that the other day. He was sent off 5-1.
He was like 66s on the morning.
Yeah, it was Tony Mullins on a preview night, weren't it? He was fucking cut. We didn't like that.
Was that the Jazzy Matt year? Was that the Risk Bell? And was that year?
Yeah. They fought it out, and he just nabbed him up.
Beat Biker.
Biker, that was the other one. Yeah, I couldn't think of.
Charles Burns trained at that time.
Yeah.
Well, Liam, I think
Burns to have a scam.
We're sitting here, Liam. We're sort of wanting it to become a staying test here. I reckon Phlegmatic will stay these. The Bad's going with some clip up front. He's done one Phlegmatic go with him and just fucking tie himself out, but
yeah, like the one that was up the front, Kansas City Chief, is already falling down the back there now. That's going down the field.
Few of them. Hitman's going well.
I know Gavin Sheehan teasing me on our here. He's starting to pick off 1 or 2. I'm getting a bit giddy.
Yeah. He's sitting cozy at the back there, though, Sean.
Yeah, he's teasing me.
I'm beat anyway.
Oh, pinged him.
What's with Gary Moore's horses just been bad at jumping?
Some of them are nuts.
And why are they all so headstrong?
Bad gone. 6 and gone.
Bad's gone. Phlegmatic left out in front. He still seems to be travelling pretty much within himself.
Two horses that love pulling themselves up hitting the front.
Scarface is going well.
Plenty of chances, isn't there?
Sean's is coming absolutely cruising on the outside.
Get in that gap.
Hitman, I tell you what.
I know.
Gavin Sheehan is still strip teasing me. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know what he has on.
know.
I would hate to know what you do on a Saturday night if that's getting you giddy.
Hitman's traveling the best of the lot.
Hitman's
Look at him.
absolutely
Oh, he's still traveling.
He is, isn't he? Hitman's absolutely cruising.
I hear what do we know?
Is Gavin
Sean?
Sheehan going to pick them up or what? Come on, man.
Well, the fella in front hates winning, so I'd say so, yeah.
Good jump. Got in tight. Oh, he jumped it better. I tell you what, a real patient ride. Brilliant ride, no fairness.
What a ride that was.
Pick them all off.
Very good, Rich.
Some ride by Gavin Sheehan.
Just any time he sort of gave it a squeeze, he came back up off her. So,
That was a great ride, that.
yeah.
Well done, Sean. Yeah, Phlegmatic, I think, is probably one for the radar for that Adonis meeting. I think it's around about the 22nd of Feb, something like that. But I'd certainly be on my radar for that race. Play a bit of place money back for you, though, Jack. And Sean, you managed to have the winner. So happy days. We move on back over to Haydock. So obviously the Peter Marsh. Jack, I know that me and you fancy the same one in here. I'm going to nip to the men's. So I'll let you take it away as to what I imagine is going to win.
Yeah, I fancy Imagine here. Put him up on the space we done the other day. 10-1. I'm trying to get the race up, but my laptop's not loading for the prices. But big question over the he loves the conditions. Big question over the trip. He's stepping up massively in trip. But I think he could be a Grand National horse on time. Really do. I don't think that sit will be an issue. I mean, maybe his first is he's stepping up to 3 mile 1 on heavy ground. Well, soft. It's not as heavy as it was. It's soft now, so it'll be a bit better for him. I think he'd stand a good chance. It's just the question. He's standing up. He's stepping up a mile straight up off the bat. But I think he stands a good chance here. I think he'll be a Grand National horse on time. I don't think he'll be too worried about the distance. Off 144 carrying 10 stone 2. Listen, if you're back and roll up a guy carrying top weight in this, you're a braver man than I am. The best fair chase winner, of course, but he's going off a career high mark of 166. So, listen, I'm going to try and look elsewhere. I think Imagine Tyrone. Obviously, we were on last time with Haydock when he won a Rocco. I don't know if they're going to try and go the ultimate route off 152. So I wouldn't be able to trust him really, but. I think Imagine it's just he's so hard not to be against. He beat fourth, he beat a lot by Splan Tower. Before that, he won. I know the way you're thinking. But 1 second, let me just get this race up because this form's actually quite decent.
Yeah, I'll get you the betting there, Jack. I just had it in front of me there. Road Goods 5-2, Trelon 16-5, Mr. Vango 16-5, Richmond Lake 6, and Imagine 8. I will do 17-2. Bill Baxter 16 and Shambard at 50.
Yeah, his beginner's chase. He won. I know the way you're thinking by 2.5 lengths. Won him coldly and comfortably in a canter. I know the way you're thinking. Went to win Cheltenham Festival. Pinkerton in third. Also won at what race did Pinkerton win?
Galway, wasn't it?
Galway Place.
Yeah, win the Galway Plate. Third and place won a few weeks ago. And Sandor Clegane also won. Pat Theroux was in 6th. Who's at the dog of a horse, but he's also won a Cheltenham this season. So the form of the beginner's chases working out really well. I'm willing to give him a chance. I think to 7-year-old improving of 10 stone 6. He's worth an each way bet for sure. He's definitely worth each way bet. The worry is if he'll stay the tip, but I think he'll have no issue with it. The only worry is Harry Durham's yard. Had that big issue with the gallop, so they've only just started running and not running to form as good. I think he hasn't had the winner for 2 weeks, but I'm hoping it changes here. But it's Imagine for me, Sean or Andrew. Anything for you?
Yeah, I love Ride Guy, but he's 3 pounds higher than when he beat Sam Brown, and this was 2 years ago. Phoenicia's horse that running great, so I landed on Mr. Vango. He won well last time out. He's very lightly raised over fences. He's had to win in 2 out of his 5 starts. He's placed third twice, so he's only had to finish out the money once. This kind of trip, this kind of test is what he loves, what he looks for. Very unexposed. I think 7-2 is a fair bet. 10 stone 2 around here, getting lumps of weight off the top 2. I think he's a right bet here.
Yeah, I like it, Sean.
Yeah, no, I agree with Andrew. I haven't gone as strong as this. I do think Mr. Vango would be the pick. Looking at them, I would have loved the ground to be deeper. I don't think you could get it deep enough for him and Royal Pagoy. And it's probably the reason why I went against Royal Pagoy in the end, to be honest with you, because I know he has a big weight, but I just think on bad ground, he just knows how to keep going and get horses to give in. And I was watching the first few races at Haydock. It's not a traditional walking over the finish line, heavy in places. It's probably the most liveliest Haydock has been in some time. But yeah, I just think, as you said with Trelawn, I don't know if they have a bigger plan up their sleeve with him. They got him beaten nicely the last day, and maybe another defeat might drop him down a pound or two. So I think if there was anyone to be running to his merits, it's definitely going to be Mr. Vango, and he'd be my selection, not a strong one.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, I popped away. I'm firmly in the Imagine camp. The trip would be a little bit of a question mark. Royal Pagoy around here is obviously prolific, isn't he? I know that Andrew's just touched on him, but I just think carrying 12 stone, has to go to the well yet again on heavy ground at Haydock, 11 years of age. That would just put me off slightly. So yeah, Imagine's form on heavy in the go inscription. He's got 3 wins, 1 second. He's also won on soft ground in a grade 2. He needs to show some of that form from Ireland back over here in the UK, because he hasn't so far for Harry Durham. But yeah, I'm with him as well. If you are watching, if you head over to my bio, there's a link in there, as I'm sure there will be in Jackson Andrews as well, but it's certainly in mine. And you will find the @RTC WatchAlong account. On there, we've got tracker horses. So on a Monday on our review show, we all put up horses that go into the WatchAlong tracker. We then notify you the days that we are backing them, the days that we think they're being targeted at. We're 2 from 2 so far on those. We've had Win Some, Lose Some at 7-1, put up by Andrew, and myself, Will the Wise, won last week at 3-1. So it's worthwhile following the account. And if not just for that, all of our anti-post selections are on there for Cheltenham. So we add to those again each Monday. Andrew is being the king of value. I think every single thing he's put up has already shortened, perhaps apart from Cargeese now, unfortunately. But sure. Other than that, there's loads of decent selections in there and some punchy prices as well. Jack stuck up a 40 to 1 shot last week, myself 100 to 1 shot. So we're certainly taking some swings. So we'd appreciate any support if you go over there and click follow.
I feel sick here. Completely away. I'm having a terrible time here. Fancy football. I put Clivert in for Bournemouth and left on my bench, and he fucking scored an hat-trick. Fucking left on my bench. Honestly, God. Everyone's probably wondering, saying, what's he doing like this while you're talking? Anyone wondering? I've had a fucking howler. Sorry.
No worries. So
Liam, I think you can kiss your national hunt chase dream goodbye with Olympic man.
Has he just bolted in?
He's had to be battered. He can't jump.
He's been battered?
Yeah.
Oh,
his jumping fell the pot again.
I'll have to watch it back.
He finished 6th.
Not too bad, that then, is it?
Here's when there's about 6 runners.
Sorry, I said 8. For fuck's sake.
I tell you one thing, but now's the hour is being absolutely blotted or something.
Where's it? Have they run in the same race? Have they? Now is the hour a runner in that at Navan?
Yeah.
Where's he finished, Sean?
Just out of place. I think he was 4th or 5th there. And then I need to check the qualification, but I think you need to be in the top 4 or 5 maybe to get yourself into them handicaps.
That's it. Olympic man is already qualified. He's run over the minimum. He's finished in the top 4 of the minimum trip. I'd have to watch it back. He didn't jump that badly the first day. He really didn't.
He made that one mistake, didn't he?
Made one howler. But yeah, obviously 3-card Brakesman and won that race over in Navan.
He had it in his locker when he was over hurdles as well. He can't organise his feet, and I think the same can be said with Jasmine DeVoe. Horses are just like not thick. That's a bad word to say. Are just not smart enough to sort themselves out when they get in close. They just fling themselves at the fence.
He was clearly fancied today to go and run a race as well because he was
He was battered in a bit. Yeah, he was absolutely smacked.
Went off 7-4. So
Jesus, it's a shame. I wouldn't give up, but
cheers, Lucas.
What did he say? I missed that.
rubber in the wound. Why don't you?
Absolutely.
I'll be back in 2 seconds for this race.
No problem. So yeah, Royal Pagoi 3-1, Trelawn 10-3. Does anybody give Trelawn a mention or a fancy? Obviously, a win around here.
Yeah. We were thinking maybe it's the bigger days ahead. Might be a chance to get his mark down a little bit after the defeat the last day.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, Sean. So Mr. Van Gogh for you. Imagine for me and Jack. Are you staying loyal and faithful to Royal Pagoi, Andrew?
No, Mr. Van Gogh.
Mr.
I think he's off a good weight. His trip is he stays further than this, and I think he'll go well.
Fair enough. I imagine the ground is officially soft at Haydock. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think it's soft enough for Royal Pagoi. But look, I could be wrong. Won this off 3 pounds lower back in the day. Loves Haydock, but I don't know. I just don't feel it today for some reason.
I don't know. I know it sounds contradictory, but under a big weight, I just think he's able to go through that slogging ground. Like no other horses can. He gets them just to fold under pressure. Just don't know if he's going to get the dog scrap that he normally gets. Today the ground just looks a little bit more lively.
Yeah, see this? I love Mr. Van Gogh's out in front here. I love front runners at Haydock.
The thing is, he would want to make it an absolute test, won't he? There's not a trick.
Yeah, and his form took a boost. I was looking collector's item on I think it was Thursday or Friday. He won some sort of national. And anyways, he beat the horse that beat Chianti Classico at Cheltenham.
Somerset
horse
was.
Yeah.
I know because I backed my silver lining in that.
Oh.
Less said, the better.
At least you got value.
That's all that matters in the long term, Andrew, isn't it?
Oh,
Bill Baxter's unseated there.
Where's Chambard? What a legend he is.
Chambard, I saw the prices knocking around about 66s for him. Surely you'd think he'd like the conditions.
He's 13?
He is 13.
Probably.
Yeah, I had a good day now when he won at the festival.
Was it Kimio he won?
Yeah, he did. Both are up, good lad.
Yeah, it's the Kimio, yeah.
I nearly tore the place down on Alfie's.
Imagine got his
yeah, he won't be winning today after that. Anyways, you nearly to taking every single part of that bird with him.
He needs a bottomless to slow down everyone else.
Liam, what would you say about Imagine over the trip? I just wasn't sure in terms of he's travelling well here now. He's sitting right in the gear. Do you think 3 months wouldn't be an issue?
And no, I think it could be an issue, but I was just willing to take that chance today. Obviously stepping up, but he's unexposed at the trip. We don't really know, do we? Everything else was in his favour, and I was willing to draw a line through the Cheltenham run. Ground conditions were completely against him.
And was that around the time Durham lost the stable as well, wasn't it? Well, obviously he didn't at the time, but like.
Yeah, not long after. I don't think really I could use that as an excuse for his
Yeah. No, I just wasn't sure whether it was before or after. Because I just remember he's really well back to anti-post, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. That must have taken some monumental effort as well for Harry Durham's yard to put those gallops back together. Completely washed away. So yeah, I think probably it's not too dissimilar. I know you mentioned both of them when we talked about Nichols earlier, Andrew, but they've obviously both learned from him. That's where they've learned their trade, isn't it? And they both seem to be well, they're both extremely good trainers now. I think Harry Durham's one to really keep an eye out for continually progressing.
I'd say the essentials probably stay the same. It's the little tweaks that you do in between that differentiates the trainers.
Yeah, they'll each have their own unique way of going about it and getting the job done, won't they?
Harry Durham kind of reminds me of a young Gordon Elliott. You just send a horse anywhere to get a winner. Just build.
It's like Ollie Murphy as well, wasn't it? When he was sort of like he's had to learn it straight off Gordon, and he went to all the small tracks and got his wins, and then built his way up.
Yeah, I remember when Gordon was only starting out. There was a day at Tramore, the festival. I think he had like six winners over the 2 days, and he was an unknown back then. Paul Carberry was a stable jockey back then.
Well, when he really first started, Andrew, he was far more dual purpose, wasn't he? He wasn't so committed to jumps. Is that a fair analysis, or am I wrong?
Oh, I couldn't. I'd be lying if I said yes or no.
Any idea, Sean?
Oh, I haven't a clue, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'd say he'd take his hand at anything he could have got early on and said, "I'll make my name from anything."
No, fair play to him. And I suppose then
he does still have the odd flat horse, so I suppose he could be bang on the money there. He still does have a couple that go around the summer.
I just remember having a few runners at Dundalk, but it was good few years ago. I'm talking like I was 21, like 12, 13 years ago.
Right, but guy's a fair bit behind here, isn't he?
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. He looking, I don't know. You take him
and all of a sudden he's third.
Go on, Imagine. I didn't get up.
Oh, big mistake there.
And all of a sudden
he asked him for a big one and he just didn't respond. So I think you just have to let him pop.
I'd pull him up now.
Yeah. He is. Yeah,
pull him up. Pull him up. Like, pull him up. Like, what are you doing?
He's got nothing to prove, has he? There'll be another day, potentially.
Like,
there's something. It's got to be something. He never jumps like that out to his left, does he?
He's having it. If he doesn't pull him up now, if I was Rich Richie, I'd batter him in the parade ring. There's no need for that now.
No, there's 5 left in it.
Give Imagine a breather.
Oh, you probably need one after clouting that fence.
He's pulling him up.
I'll tell you what, he's travelling nicely though. Come on, kick him on.
What's the Hemmings colour? That thing is still on the dicky.
Richmond Lake.
Just getting outpaced. Come on.
Still Richmond Lake is held together. Trelawn is working hard to get on turn. I will do it, and Mr. Vango drawing towards the third bar.
I'd be happy for Mr. Dango. I'd want him to get in as much of a battle as possible, to be honest with you.
He just looks so slow.
Yeah, he is.
And they've got 2 fences to jump. Mr. Vango on the right.
So much left, but is he fast enough?
Pull
away.
Go on.
Moving on down now towards the last of the Skybet.
Go on, big jump. Look, 2 ears up in the air.
Go on, get stuck in.
Oh, no, there you go. Yeah.
Run, little Dave. Run.
Quicker than a sprinter. He can't half stay.
The slowest sprinter I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the way he just kicked on.
His 2 ears went like that. The last I thought he was stopping.
He could have went around again.
He look anything as soon as he gets to the 3 mile 1 furlong mark, he just turns into half.
Look, he's still flicking his ears and he's 100 yards past the post.
He's one of them horses that loves a flick of a whip.
Yeah. But don't mind this business of getting rid of the pro cush. Yeah, for a lad like him, he needs it.
he's the Dave O'Keefe horse now. Loves a little spank.
So over to Ascot. This is a tricky race. You've got Bo Zenith.
No, it's not.
Okay,
we'll come back Bo Zenith.
Just back Bo Zenith. Okay, Bo Zenith is favourite 3-1. Alto Belly, whether you could trust him, I'm not too sure, but he's still being well backed. And he was early in the week. He was 12s at one point. Now 7-2. Dodgy the Great 7s. Cam Sinas 9s. Aston Martini, another one well supported. 10s, Josh the Boss, 11s, 14-1 bar. Go on then, Andrew. We'll start with you. So Bo Zenith just wins.
Look, I put up a horse to follow this season. I just think he's a very good horse, and I think he's a well handicapped horse. I'm just going to get up. Where was it? Word. Cheltenham, thanks, Sean. Cheltenham, he ran last day. If you go back and look at the top of the hill, he was out the back north of the scene and he ran on like an absolute train. I am happy that James Bowen is on him. I wouldn't be backing him if Nico was on him. If you go back and just look at his runs before he had his setback with Gary Moore, he was beaten a short head by Zenit in a juvenile hurdle in the Grade 1 at Aintree. That's a decent enough run. He's on a mark of 138. Convinced he's a better horse than that. And with Nicky now, Nicky's obviously flying this season. Look, Artabello, he's backed every time he runs a race. Doddy the Great, I don't like him. I don't like his form. Don't like the way he does things. Casamas is a good yardstick. He'll be one each way. Aston Martini, probably one of the best named horses in training. That's a great name. I love it. But when you break it down into nooks and cranny, Bozen, look, he's still unexposed. He's still young enough. He's a 6-year-old, and if you take what he done at Cheltenham and the progression that he's going to show after a 610-day break, he has to have a massive chance. I know it's obviously like 3-1 is not a great price to be going in, but you're backing him on the basis that he is a Grade 1 juvenile hurdle winner, and there is a lot more to come from him. This is his first season outside of juvenile hurdles, and there's a lot to take out from this last one. No minded horse. I like in this race, and a former classy performer in juveniles. Still a lot to like about it. The rest of them are just much as you know what they are, you know what level they are. He's the one in there that could be a good few pounds better than his current mark.
Would you be a believer, Andrew, in the bounce factor, and would that be a concern after 610 days off? And obviously he's had one run at Cheltenham.
Yes and no. I think he's after having a long enough break from that run to get over any potential. Like we'd probably say the same about Energumene when it comes to the Clarence House as well. To me, it all depends on the constitution of the horse. If he's a tough horse, and it was a tough horse in the past, I think he'll be more than enough well equipped. But then again, it comes down to what they done at home towards the first run. We don't know. Was he drilled to the last? If he was drilled to the last, they rarely kick on again. But he didn't look like a horse that was drilled to the last. He looked like he took a massive blow and then ran on past beaten horses. For me, on the back of that, he'll come on plenty for the run. And I don't think he'll. And Nicky's not one that would have him drilled for the first run of the season.
Fair enough. Jack, I know that you've put him up this morning on X, so do you want to double down and add any more to what Andrew said?
No, I completely agree with what Andrew said. I put him up as a horse to follow when he ran at the Cheltenham on a review show. So I'm looking forward to him. The value has gone a touch, but what is he now? 3.8 on the exchange. No, I like him. I think he's got a solid chance. Anyone who watched that show, me and Andrew were very sweet on him. Of course, everyone knew he was eye-catching when he ran at Cheltenham. I think like Andrew said there, it's his first proper year in open company. I think he'll strive on for it. I thought he'd go down the Coral Cup route myself. I don't know exactly what the amendments are to get in the Coral Cup off the top of my head, but he decided to go here instead. Yeah, I fancy him. I think he stands a good chance. I think either of the two Nicky and Willie wins. I'm willing to chance James Bowen because both Zenith. I've liked him since he was at Gary Moore's yard as a juvenile, to be honest. So I think he'll be tough to beat here, but it is a good race.
No, fair enough. Sean, what do you make of this?
Yeah, rowing with the lads. I think obviously you have to justify when you're taking out a favourite in a handicap hurdle like this, and I think the lads have hit the nail on the head. You watch, I'm not messing you. It's probably the winner has ended up splitting the field at Cheltenham. But the second last, he must have been 40-50 lengths off the back of him, out the back of the telly. He's come all the way up. He's probably still in 10th, jumping the last, and he's the only one that's made up rapid ground. I think coming in here, you step up and trip by 3 furlongs, I think is definitely going to suit. You look at Big Stars as a juvenile, and it's sort of I run through the field. Like Alta Belly, I don't know how many chances you give him before you pack her in on him. Dottie the Great doesn't get the head enough in front for me either. And the last day, not a horse is spun, but like you wouldn't say he half had the choice to go with him, and he didn't, and he still opted not to go. So I just don't know if Dottie the Great is all there for winning either. And you come down on a horse like Camsinas, You get down to them sort of horses. I think Bows then it could be workable off that mark. 138 now. I'd say he's probably a mid 140s horse. He probably could have still 6-7 pounds in hand. He's to improve anyway from that race the last day. I think he absolutely justifies his place at the top of the market, and connections with like the back of horse. Probably tells you everything that you need to know.
Perfect. And for me, I'll take all three of the lads on them with one other. I'm hoping that he does have a better start than he did the last day at Kempton that Sean just alluded to. So for me, it's Doddy the Great. You look back at some of his form from last season. He finished second at the December meeting to Go Dante. Now, some of the horses in behind there, the horse who was third, who he beat by half a length, was Panjari. He's now rated in the mid 130s. Willie the Builder is off exactly 130, who was beaten a good few lengths. So you've got two horses rated in the 130s. Doddy the Great is still off a mark of 129. He then went on to run in the Betfair Hurdle. There are obviously some decent horses in there, like Loda Sud, who then went on to run really well in the County Hurdle. Go Dante, Iberico Lord in front of him, but it's more the horses that he beat again that day. So you had Favor, Our Champ, Cam Sinas, who obviously also comes in here. They're all rated in the high 130s. And again, Doddy the Great is coming in off a mark of 129. So I still think he should have plenty in hand. I hope that Sean's analysis isn't right in the fact that he just didn't want to go with them. And it's just a case, it was just poor luck and he span as the starters lifted the tapes. So yeah, I'll take the boys on with Doddy the Great, but it's 3 against 1. So we'll see how I get on there. Boys, you may as well quickly touch on Lalumba from earlier. There was obviously a lot of hype around him. I know some was sat with pretty tickets. Jack, you're one of those. What did you make of him?
Yeah, it was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, really impressively. Probably the most impressive juvenile I've seen so far this season for sure. Wasn't on the train of back him without knowing him. I did pull him in a little multi just to try and cover myself, which is worked out all right. What I don't like the hype trains that Andrew alluded to earlier on. We had it all with bad a few years ago. These hype trains, they're very, very true. They're very rarely true, but on this occasion has been true. I think he was really, really impressive, and I think that the more the season goes on, I think the second. I think he'll be a great one horse as well. I think the two horses take hard. I think Alumba's just won him easier because he sees a very nice sort. So I think if we were sitting here at the end of April after Aintree, we'll be looking back at that race thinking that was a really good race with two very good horses.
Andrew, I'm not sure if you managed to catch it earlier. I didn't myself. I had to watch it back. But if you have seen it, what did you make of him? A lot made of him. He was punted off the boards even without being seen on a British or Irish track. But he won very well, giving £10 to the Moor horse.
Yeah, he won well. Did everything well, more or less. Yeah, look, he's entitled now to be up at the top of the market on the back of that. Look, the Gary Moore horse done everything wrong. Everything possibly he could do wrong, he did. Yeah, I look, juvenile hurdles, they just do nothing for me. Like, you'll get this horse at the start of the season, like the Willie the Hoolies, and then we had another thing recently, can't remember the name of it, and then we had Lalumba. Like, it just goes and dribs and drabs. This horse is working down. This is the horse that are coming from France. This is the horse that is in Donnelly colours. Look, they do nothing for me. The Triumph Hurdle, I genuinely, and I couldn't care less who wins it, because majority of the time they'll do nothing after.
You're right. The ones that do come out are special. The likes of Connor, Lossymouth. But yeah, they are few and far between. I do agree with you. Sean, you mentioned to me that he was clocking 36 miles an hour. I'm not sure how fastly run the race was as a whole, but he was just going away at the end. And obviously, as mentioned, he was giving away weight to that Moor horse, who's no slouch himself.
Yeah, look, I thought in terms of performances, I'd say you tick every box. He jumped, he travelled, he settled, and he got in tight to one, and he was able to figure himself out. I like to see that, and he's picked up, and I'd say he's won without even coming out of second gear. I'd say the Gary Moore horse has done everything wrong, but he did have to give him £10. So the horse back in Tour also won the last time out. So look, I think you've seen a very smart performance. Like, you asked me to check the time against Cargies, probably about 13 lengths slower than that race. But twice now, Autoy and this, he's only been most emphatic at the line. he's been going through the line twice like a train, and I just like to really, really see that. There's plenty under that bonnet. I seen Nico come back in and said he wouldn't even blow out a candle after them winning there. So obviously they haven't even touched the surface with him. I suspect he'll be the number one come. I think you said 11-8, was it? I seen in the chat. He's cut into 11-8. Look,
he's 11-8 now.
Yeah, it's mighty short, but if you're a backer of him, you don't really have a fault after today, is what I can say.
No, absolutely. Talking recruitment, as we mentioned earlier, I'm sure there'll be plenty of horses that we don't even realise have been on the radar. But whoever is recruiting for the Donnellys or however they're going about it, they don't seem to get more right than they do wrong based on what we've seen on the track. There's obviously been the likes of Jet Powered, but Dancing City, State Man, Sir Gino, Lulamba.
I know that horse today was picked up by Jerry McGrath. He put his neck on the line. He put his neck on the line for him and said he wanted him. So Jerry McGrath had a big smile on his face. I'll tell you that in the ring after the race. He took a good blow, probably heavier than the horse when they were coming back in, but he was happy out. He put his neck on the line for him, and look, it's paid off now.
No, absolutely. Back over to the 250 then, lads, and then we start getting into another handicap and then onto the main event. I can't wait to see this. It's essentially Willie versus Nicky 2.0.
It's like a boxing match. It's like a boxing match when you've been waiting for the battle for that long, and then it comes down to it, and you just can't wait to see what happens.
Repeat or revenge.
Yeah. Right, here we go.
Oh, Goshen is back.
I'm just about to say that then. We forgot to mention Goshen.
I literally thought that chap was retired.
He must have been running man up the gallop with him, because holy God, he didn't settle at all today. We can confidently say both sides been a bit more prominently this time around anyway. Written as if money has been
the word
applied.
you're looking for. The word you're looking for there is he's trying today.
Mr. Tipstar won't be impressed with that.
I'm going to get him in so much trouble. It's not even funny. I don't have these restrictions on TalkSport. No TalkSport restrictions. We love controversy.
There is a mute button somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Oh, Tipstar, I have power.
Some breaking news coming in whilst this race is going on from Joe. Thanks, Joe, for updating us.
Mr. Vango.
No, we were. Yeah.
Mr. Mango needs a big tick next to his name.
How did we let that one slide?
You didn't. Us two back to you didn't. You jumped off the train.
I'd imagine.
But, I think we had just discussion in the chat yesterday, and I don't want to put the markers on it, but we haven't had one of them dreaded X's in one of the big championship races yet so far this season. And it'd be interesting.
Hugh Alex over at Back Road to Cheltenham.
Yeah, I'd say that's on cue. I'd say the cogs will start turning out with DRF. We might have one missing next week, but everyone still looks intact at this stage of the season.
Like, you literally know now tomorrow there's going to be about 3 horses that are taken out.
Yeah, just about to say that. You're supposed to shoot it, sure.
I can see Nicky now getting the piece of paper ready.
Oh, I'll cry.
Con Hill broken again.
But even just on that rate, I know we sort of touched on it, but I just think on the Con Hill one, I think that's a big statement to take him out again. I think it's a bold statement to let him go and run again. He's going to go against Amsterdam. I think they've aimed at the race. He goes and pushes him out of the way. I'd say that's Nicky Henderson flexing his muscles to say, everyone, relax back down. I still have him in good shape.
Oh, sounds going well, yeah. Doddy did great. I hate to be on his back all the time, but Nico de Boinville just cannot. You'll probably go and win now, but Nico de Boinville just cannot judge a pace on a handicap. I don't know what it is. He's great on good horses, but in handicaps, you can't judge a pace at all. He's had to sit back here and he's been caught on his heels.
I don't think there's any danger of him going and winning from where the position that he's in, to be honest. He's flogging away as well.
I tell you, they're heating this up a long, long way out.
I know it is. They're going somewhere out there.
You're only a swindly bottom here.
Stoner's choice nudged along. Aston Martini joins in only about a length and a half behind the leader now. Then Zenith and Outer Belly, and that was 3 out. Moving like Minnie is still held together a little way back through the field. Dolly the Great should be pretty wide into the home straight. Georgie Girl.
I'd say Zenith probably has another day in mind here.
So he's been half a toe, Jack.
Yeah, he just ain't got the pace to go with him. Nor is Dolly the Great. I'll tell you what, they've got an absolute clip from the front.
Yeah.
This
was set up really nicely for Outer Belly.
Into the home run now, and it's Willful on the approach towards the crowd. Willful leading by 2 lengths to Aston Martini.
There's Bozena coming back, is he?
Zenith starting to clip up.
He's miles behind.
It's Wilfred from Aston Martini, and then came Believe It Like Me.
Twiston Davis, horse coming through the middle.
Outer the Belly.
Willful now headed by Aston Martini. Outer Belly coming there with strong claims.
Outer Belly, what would we say?
How many times I backed that joke?
I know, it's the first time I haven't backed him.
People eventually got their payday back from him.
Brian Carver, Outer Belly the winner. From in second, Aston.
Less said about that one, the better. Should we move on, chaps?
Yeah.
3 o'clock at Haydock. Let's try again.
3:05 it is, Liam.
3:05, sorry.
Oh well, that was shite. Outer Belly. The amount of times I backed that horse, the one time I haven't backed it is when I've won.
Yeah.
3:05 at Haydock. Again, another trappy race, difficult one. Tiny Tetley is now favourite at 4s. Punta del Este for the Skeletons, 5-1. Good Luck Charm, 6s. Tune in a Box, a horse I do like, for Tom Lacey at the road from me, 6s. Kilbarry Hill, 7s. Uncle Bert, 10s, 12-1 bar. Again, a bit of a trappy affair. If anything, in terms of our handicap record, if the last anything to go by, we may struggle again. But we'll start with you, Jack. Jack, is there anything that you do like in here, or anything you've put up for a bet this morning?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on wanting to be fair. Tune in the Box for Tom Lacey. Backed him at the Punchestown Festival where he absolutely bolted up. sorry. He absolutely bolted up. Put in I'd say a 130 performance at least. Was up 1, 2, 3 for that. He's just hit the nail. He keeps getting good ground. He likes to cut on the ground, likes a bit of rain. Run on shot. Good to soft at Chepstow and just found slacking with the pace in the ground. He then went to Cheltenham, finished 4th again on good ground. To be fair, he ran a really good race. In class at the last, could have probably won, but he stayed on well on good ground again. But then he got soft the last day. Had to carry top weight. Looked like he had the winner a long way out, and then just got nabbed on the line, beating a nose or short head by Woody Flash. Woody Flash is rated in the 120s now. I'm quietly confident about him here. I think he 127 dropped down. He's dropping to a class 3, back over 3 miles on soft ground. Which I think he's been crying out for soft ground all season. He hasn't quite got into the last day when he was just beat. I think carrying £7 lower than the weight that day. I think he'd won a solid race. 6-1. He is probably one of my best bets of the day.
Fair enough. Andrew?
I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I'd like Jack as well. Tune in the Box if I was to have a punt in it, but I'm not going to waste time here. There's not much I really fancy in it.
Fair enough. Obviously, it's a qualifier. Sean, how do you see it? Do you think there'll be something running on to qualify? What do you make of this, mate?
Yeah, it's a trappy enough affair, but I think Jack has hit the nail on the head. Tune the Box, he just sort of runs his race, doesn't he? You know what you're going to get from him. And you know what? I think the long Haydock straight might play into his hands. I know he was disappointing first time out at Chepstow, down over 2.5. But since then, he's run 2 solid races and he just got picked up the last day. But I don't think it was a terrible run at all. And a Phantom, the horseback and Tour that day at Fort has come out and won during the week as well. So Form took a little boost as well. I'd say he might have a bit. You know what? I looked at him last year. He absolutely hosed up at Punchestown, and I'm convinced if you look back at that, he definitely was in around the 130s horse. So I just keep coming back to that every time he's running. And I sort of give him an each way squeaking here.
Fair enough. 11 runners, and 3 of us have managed to go for the same horse so far. To be fair, I won't put anybody off tuning the box at all. He was a really good winner over in Ireland, as you boys have mentioned. I have stuck one up in here as a bet earlier over on Anti-Post Angle, and you have to keep scrolling, and scroll a little bit more because he's right at the bottom. It's Bold Endeavour. He's now 40s. I put him up at 33. He's taken a slight drift. First of all, Laura Morgan's in decent form, which helps support my argument and reasoning around backing him. He's had a couple of winners in operating at 33% strike rate. In addition to that, I know that he's obviously moved yard and moved from Nicky Henderson's, and probably Nicky wouldn't be shipping out horses if he thought they still had some decent wins in them. But he is still only a 9-year-old. You look back to some of his form last season. He ran well at Cheltenham in behind White Rhino. That was, of course, to qualify for the Potemps final. He then was 4th in that Potemps final, and he's dropping down now another class division into this. He does have to carry top weight, but I think if he puts his best foot forward, I can see him running quite a good race here. And hopefully Laura Morgan's horses are obviously in good nick, and hopefully he is another one who's firing and he can outrun his odds at 40s. So 3 for tuning the box, and Bold Endeavour at a big price for me each way.
Come on, lads, this is the winner. Confidence on this one.
Already managed to get Teresita up, thanks to Sean. Well done, Sean.
Oh, you robbed me of another one as well, Mr. Van Gogh. We got 2.
There we go. We're flying.
Yeah.
Mr. Van Gogh.
Yeah.
If there's anything
lads, if he went to
like...
National Hunt Chase, we'll have some crack. Imagine he won that. Jesus, I'd fall down off the chair.
3 mile 6, not far enough for him, is it?
Yeah.
For 8 mile 2.
The realms of impossibility that he could have been it.
I tell you what, he'd get 6 miles, wouldn't he?
He'd love that. He'd love that test now.
The way he picked up with 100 yards. Like,
oh, stop. As soon as pricked at the last, I thought he was just going to stop himself. The best used to be, I don't know, you've definitely all heard of him, Dunboyne for Gordon Elliott. He used to be absolutely hilarious. That lad used to travel to the second last on the bridle and just pull himself up and just stop. He'd be pulled up by the last. Remember, he went to the TS days one day, backman of the TS days, jumped the second last on the Swindaloo. By the time he got to the last, he'd already dropped the bridle, dropped everything, and just didn't even bother jumping.
I was up there.
Yeah, it's tough times back in Lemons.
That's on again next Thursday for that again.
It is. I always enjoy the Thyestes. Ain't that a shame when it last year, didn't he? One that, again, probably not too dissimilar to Outer Belly, who's just won. Everybody's packed that Ain't That a Shame for absolutely everything. And the day that everybody...
right day.
Yeah, exactly. The day that everybody decides to jump off, he goes and wins. Has any of you had a look at the Thyestes? I did have a look at some of the trends and things and horses that might marry up to it, and there was a couple on my radar. But yeah, Sean.
I don't know, but one thing I would say is it's probably not going to be I don't know how much rain might due between now and then, but it's probably going to be the liveliest that the Thyestes has been in some time. We haven't had much rain over here, and it's been 10 degrees, so I know Gowran's always a dog track no matter what. In terms of ground, it's always tough going. But I'd say it'd probably be the liveliest it's been.
Andrew, have you had a look
at I had a quick glance at it last week when entries came out. When the event came out, I backed man at 14s. He's now 7-1, Value King and all that. Won't pay me bills though if he doesn't win. Look, I think that just kind of tests him suit from down to the ground. He won a Haydock. What did he win the Peter Marks last year?
Yeah, he won something.
He won something at Haydock last year.
Yeah.
I think this will be a race that'll suit him. I always like backing an older horse in this. Where is he?
He beat My Silver Lining in the Grand National Trial.
Is it Cocoa Beach will be interesting here if he decided to remember that he's a horse. Jigginstown. He's gone totally off the boil. Jigginstown always have one prime for this, and I think he's a fair enough price of 20-1. Superstars don't win this anymore. I know Jack had him won twice. He was placed in the Gold Cup, and it's on your own. No, was it? What's his name? On Your Own, or I can't remember the name of the horse. Willie Munn's horse got beat by Lord Windermere then did it the same year in the Gold Cup.
On his own, yeah.
On his own, mother of God. I still can't believe it. I haven't been paid out for that yet. I think if you look at an older enough horse, look, there's no classy enough horses in this, but Coco Beach decides to come back to anywhere near his best. I think he's a bet at 20s. I just want to see what weight he's carrying. Sorry. Oh, entries are out for the Galmoy. Who's in the Galmoy? Stella Story, Beacon Age, Hidden Valley Lake, Asterian Kaboom, Buddy One, Fascinating Rock, Maxim, Sandor Clegane, Staffordshire Not. Staffordshire Not, if he turns up, that's the bet in the Galmoy.
Staffordshire Not, yeah, big fancy.
Yeah, I don't think Hidden Valley Lake will come here. Maxim won't
Is
run.
thinking that Andrew, by any chance, is the winning one horse in the grey one? What's it called? It's supposed to go to Windsor this weekend.
Who?
No, the one that was supposed to go to Windsor this week. He won first time out beating Colin Mustard. What's his name?
No, he's not in it.
Okay.
Maxim won't run because he'll win the week after at the DRF. Yeah. Decent enough.
Happy days.
I've got Harlem and Nick Rocket. I had a punt at Nick Rocket. I think he'll probably go off favourite, if anything. But the other one was Spanish Harlem of 10-10. I think he's off. Let me just do that. I think he's off a mark of 137. Sorry, I haven't got it up. But his run the last day of Christmas behind Percival Lagawa. I know he finished 14-15, but he was just there for a chance. I think he's been dropped. To be fair, he's only been dropped a pound. I thought you'd one of the 2 or 3, but I think he's. I know what Andrews likes older horses. He is only 7. He's going to improve it. Seemed like he was only a novice here last season, but yeah, Spanish Harlem at 20s, but I think Nick Rocket all over.
I did look at some of the trends. So 11 of the last 12 had at least 5 chases. 9 of the last 12 winners had at least 1 chase win. 8 of the last 12 had course experience round Gowran. 7 of the last 12 had won in a graded race. And as Andrew mentioned about liking older horses, 9 of the last 12 have been aged 8 or older. Generally, you want something that's rated in between 137 or 149. 9 of the last 12 match that.
That fits all Nick Rocket's claims then. But that's some more on.
So that produces a shortlist of 2, funnily enough, which would be French Dynamite and Eclat de Ria. But then if you were a little bit more lenient, McDermott, Coco Beach, again, one Andrew mentioned, and Struskini for Gordon Elliott, they all pretty much match the trends apart from McDermott's got no course experience. Coco Beach is 4 pounds above the handicap range, and Stuzzikini has no course experience and he's 7 years of age. But contrary to all of that, where it all began was one that I put on my shortlist along with French Dynamite. But I think French Dynamite has been declared tomorrow.
Yeah, where it all began ran a smasher in that Welsh National. You look like he was travelling in on the bridle and he made a howler.
Made a terrible mistake, didn't he? And stopped.
He really could you, but he just made.
No, you could see him travelling, but what you could see is you could see him absolutely swinging going down to one of the fences.
Yeah, he was fucking cancer. Did we watch it? No, we never done a watch along for that, did we? But
Eclaterie is not in it anymore.
Eclaterie is now in that. Yeah, this was prior to some sort of entry stage. Is French Dynamite still entered up, Andrew?
French Dynamite is not.
No, yeah, I thought he was declared this weekend. So where it all began was on that right up. He was around about 16s at that point. I think he perhaps has shortened slightly. He'd probably be the one.
He has gone into 10-1. 8-1 shortest. That's not a bad shout now. That is not a bad shout. So yeah, as Sean said, I've been to the Triestes the last going on 20 years, last 20 years in a row. And this is the mile that say it's been coming up to it. It's usually a bog.
Yeah.
Like Gorn is only a good 25 minutes away from where I am. And it's mild now today. And it's been mild the last few days. Oh, this race is up.
Good ground Triestes in that case.
Jesus, match of the day is holy God.
As much as
it would look like hard work, and anyways, it's Gowran.
As much of a good bloody day out, Triestes is Gorn Park is it's a terrible track. So
from a viewing perspective or hospitality
no,
perspective?
few perspective, grand. From walking out of a time machine looking like you're walking into a track that's built in the 80s, yeah. Like they updated the
Vintage, they call it now, don't they? Vintage, retro. It's in, isn't it?
vintage. Yeah, there's vintage now and there's falling down around you.
It's that vintage, it's falling down.
Gore Park is falling down. Like it's the new jockey rooms and whatnot, Stewart's room. That looks deadly. That looks perfect. But you go to the stand. More is nearly better than it with the facilities they have. Like you walk in under the stand and it's literally like you're walking into a barn, and that's not even a joke.
Really?
Yeah, it's not great by any stretch of imagination.
I'll tell you what, Old Endeavour's losing some ground. When it rains, it pours. January can't improve quick enough. Jesus.
There's
Uncle
Uncle
clip
Bert.
here, aren't they? They picked this up some way out, I tell you.
Yes, they have, haven't they? What's this Uncle Bert?
Now I know, obviously, there was some that were big odds, but there's 5 or 6 off the bridle. There's still a mile to go.
Tuning in the box, sitting behind tracking, or is he the one struggling with the noseband?
No, this is the grey horse and fourth. The orange silks.
Yeah. Blue sleeves, yeah.
Yeah.
That Kilbarry Hill now is just lobbing along lovely off the pace.
Yeah.
Informed mares and all that jazz.
Like, this is going to be some slog down the straight, I tell you what. These have picked this up some way out.
Can someone tell me why in the name of God Harry Skelton is wearing a gold armband?
He's top of what's that jockey championship thing that they brought out, the £1 million thing?
I think 500 grand to the winner.
I can stay with these, yeah.
It's an ITV initiative.
I tell you, if that Uncle Bert wins, I swear to God, I crack.
What's that Kilbarry? That one that you said? He's the only one that looks trouble, Jack, for the moment.
Tuning in the box, going well.
Go on. You'll stay, but it's a long running.
I'll tell you what, what's this on the outside?
Kilbarry. Uncle Bert's gone, for fuck's sake.
Uncle Bert's gone for home.
The amount of times I go beat him, please beat him. Something beat him. Make a balls.
Oh! He's going to nab him, Andrew. He's going to get there.
He's not paddling.
Come on!
Fuck's sake.
He's big prices.
We'll get away from that. Unlucky, lads. Tuning in the box ran a good race. However, Chris was just asking about our main selections. From my perspective, Chris, it would be where it all began for Gordon Elliott. Lads, do you want to just fly through what your main selection at this stage would be for
Nick Rocket.
Say again, Jack?
Nick Rocket. It's gone.
I don't have
Didn't
one.
like that.
Yeah.
Did not like that. I would go, yeah, man. Right now. Back to him already, but like he's 7-1 now. I don't know if he should be a 7-1 shot, but 142, he's better than 142. Whether it'll be soft enough is another thing.
Yeah. The last one is the big one.
Yeah. Are we covering
One
that?
more to go.
Navan, no?
Out the bumper yet at Navan. Yeah, I think that was a
Might be worth the show. Yeah, might be worth the show.
It's not. It's really not.
It's not. It could be.
What is there? There's like 100, 300,000 horse running there or something, let me guess.
5 or 6.
Jesus Christ.
What's your show? I'll each to their own.
But that scene going on, like that's the best point that will be sold this season in terms of RPRs, and it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. JP's after having to splash a few quid out on this lad. So Barry Connell one has our favourite friend Joe's on, and I'm sure he's listening in. He's been telling me about this one for a while. So I think it's a bumper that often turns out a nice one. So
this is the one JP just wouldn't give up on this one, would he? He just wouldn't,
Yeah.
he wasn't going to let it be sold.
No.
Interesting. No better proposition to me, but I don't know where Liam's gone. But
If I'm not wrong, I think this was the day that It's For Me made his. I think this is the bumper he started off in.
Now it makes sense why you want to watch it.
It's a bumper where a nice one gets sent out. But anyways.
Oh, Barry Connell horse. Oh my God. Do you know what I can't wait? When Barry Connell has an absolute plot job, and then Mikey O'Connor goes and beats it on the line. Can't wait for that day.
Big monkey, big stones.
Right, so what we'll do, we will see. Liam's got all the rotors to talk about, so I don't know where he's gone, but we're going to cover them. We're going to watch this Navan bumper. I don't know. Have you any of you had any bets elsewhere apart from the races we're covering? Like so, Navan, Taunton, or anything? I haven't. Like, well,
nope, not an absolute. I've topped up just a few minutes ago on Gaelic Warrior to win the champion chase.
Interesting.
Because I reckon he could be dropped in price for sitting in the stable.
Yeah, he could be. I don't think he will though. I think Jonbon.
Of course you do.
If Jonbon come from Springley Bottom, he could struggle there with the it's concentrated. There's like 4 or 5 fence stuff in, but one after another.
Look, I think he'll win today. I can't have him for a million years for the champion chase.
Yeah.
He's not half as good as he is going left-handed than he is going right-handed.
Yeah, I think he takes some serious beating today. I don't think Energumene's got his ground, and I don't know what Energumene we've seen the last day. I know Bamridge has gone down to the last, and you say he come out and win a King George, but you're talking to him while in 3 mile form there, you might need to take a pinch of salt. He's also given him £10, I think it was that day, and he's given him a lot of weight that day. And the horses in behind have hardly gone up. Frank, the Dino blew out, Appreciate it, blew out in the other race. So I just don't know what the way up. And on the ground, I just think it's massively in Jonbon's favour. I think he gets him into a jumping rhythm. He'd be on Energumene's girt, and I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if Nicola Boinville took this off Energumene halfway around, if it just wasn't going all plain sailing, and just kicked on, because you know it's day. And I think you're best off getting, if you're out of your comfort zone, get the rest of them over and just let them go. I think you'd be a very good winner of this.
Yeah. It'd be a different story now if it was on really heavy ground. Then the margin becomes a lot closer. But yeah, look, I think Jonbon going right-handed is near on unbeatable.
I think the only way he is beaten if Energumene sets off in front, kind of starts getting into a nice rhythm jumping well, and Jonbon makes some sort of error,
mistake,
like he did at the Clarence house when it was rearranged to Cheltenham. Was it last year? And was it Eclat? No, Elixir de Nuts.
Elixir de Nuts, yeah.
I think that's probably the way to get him beat. Just try and apply some pressure that way.
But like, put it this way, I would have said if they Willie Camp thought he'd be winning, he wouldn't be 9-4.
Chris wants to go back in off the back of this, so he's hoping for a drift on Energumene. Should he get beat, and then wants to back him again for the champion chase by the looks of it.
It'd be interesting to watch the market. We know Tony Bloom likes a bit, so if 9-4 tickles his fancy, you'll know all about it. Anyways,
no, I think it's very much a fact-finding mission as well to see what's left under the bonnet really with him. Like if we really take it into consideration, for what is he now? He's 11. He's 11. He's at the racing. What's that? Take away the 2 flat race, 14 times over jumps, and one of them was over hurdles. So he's raced 13 times over fences. He's won 11 of them. He's only been beaten twice. Like, that's some record in all fairness. The only 2 times he's been beaten is in the Clarence House chase, when one was at Cheltenham, and they want to blame the old change the orange to white, the takeoff boards and everything.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Remember that?
The horses are colourblind. They have no fucking clue what it is.
I remember he came out and said that the reason. The horses are adapting to the new white rails that are on the fences.
Imagine it's like when United got beat when they were wearing the grey jerseys, they couldn't see each other, lads. That's why they got beat. Remember that? Holy God. Then the other time he got beat by Shiskin when he got run down late on. Look, he has a lot to do. He's 11-year-old now. He's not getting any faster. So I think he gets beat, but I can see him reversing the form from Cheltenham.
Quite likely race, though, isn't he, for an 11-year-old? 16 starts under rules.
Again, probably not a good thing at the end of the day. Fragile. But
what would your take? What would your take be on the race? I don't know how to weigh up that reappearance. I don't know what it tells us about him, to be quite honest with you.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Because Banbridge almost gone and franked the form, but at the same time, it wasn't overly quick again times, but I'm going to say it anyway. It wasn't overly quick compared to the performance from Only by Night, and she had an additional obstacle to jump, whereas Energumene didn't. I'm not sure what to make of it either, Sean, to be honest. I couldn't give you a certain analysis.
I just think I think the weight gets forgotten about as well. The weight that was given to Banbridge on the day, and obviously like the 2 and 3 mile difference of the winning the next day. I don't know how much. That
okay, then you have the other side of it. Then that was on the back of nearly a 600-day break. So what are you expecting from a horse who's built like an absolute tank? He's obviously going to come on for a run. Look, he showed all his old exuberance, and I thought he would have held on. To be honest, I thought he finds a lot off the bridle. It just showed that the engine is still there. Whether it's still there on ground is it after being changed to officially good? I see here in front of me.
Probably. It's lively enough, and
yeah, that'll be. Look, he has won on it before. He won at the Punchdown Festival on good ground before, but that was when he was 2022. He would have been 9. No, he would have been 8.
It was a novice campaign. It could have been his novice chase campaign, was it?
No, he beat Shaq and Post-War. No. He won the champion chase.
He beat sorry.
And then he battered Shaq and Post-War. And Envoy Allen and Captain Guinness. Good. Andy Dufresne's. What a cliff horse that chap was.
Remember that horse? Jesus.
Oh, back for the play 2 years in a row. Who beat him? Why not beat him or someone like that?
The thing you beat him.
What beat him? Hold on. Where is he?
Is that not the year that the Paul Bourne horse was laid out, was it? Is that the first year?
Andy Dufresne.
Is this Energumene's run at Cheltenham you're referring to?
Oh, Mascada.
Yeah, that was it.
Mascada. Oh, no, sorry, year before. Sorry, my bad, year before. Yeah, Global Citizen beat him.
Global Citizen. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you what we'll do then, lads. As obviously we've still got a good 10 minutes or so. This will be more painful for some than others, but we'll have just a quick flick through of, if I can find a way to share it.
This is some terrible production.
Which I won't by the looks of it. No, it's not working. We can just fire through them anyhow. So just, lads, where we're at currently with regards to our anti-post selections. Obviously, we put these up each Monday. All the graphics, anyhow, are over on the @RTC WatchAlong Twitter account. So currently, I have put up the Jukebox Man for the Brown Advisory, 12s into 5s, pretty happy with that. Country Mile for the County Hurdle. There are whispers they're going to try him at the Supreme and pick up some prize money, which would be slightly frustrating. However, he has already had 4 runs this season, as mentioned earlier, so hopefully they'll get a 5th in. Olympic Man, I think we'll move on from that, and I'll have to go back and watch his run today, but he was tipped at 14-1 for any race. Regent Stroll at 100-1 for the Supreme, now 50s, and Ile Francais for the Champion Chase 12s. Still available, I think, at around about 12-1. We'll skip to you, Andrew. Obviously, just to run through some of yours. First of all, Dancing City for the Browns. We have mentioned him earlier, so you may not want to say much more, but you put him up at 10s. Relatively happy?
Yeah, relatively happy. We haven't seen him since. Interesting to see, as I said, if he does turn up at the DRF, but I just think he's a horse tailor-made for a test like the Browns.
Work ahead for the Supremes, tipped at 25s. He's going to go straight there now, said Henry de Bromhead. I think he's available possibly at 20-1, perhaps a bit shorter in a few places. You still like him for a tilt at the Supreme, or would you prefer him to be getting another run into him?
No, I don't mind him going there now on the back of that. It was a good run. It was a very good run. He absolutely bolted up. Well, he's a 7-year-old now, but why I like that he's a 7-year-old, so he possibly could be and we touched on it earlier, more developed than a few of the other horses. He could be at his peak of his powers, where many of the field might not be. 7 lengths win over Win Your Money, good run. First run of the season, he was beaten by Jasmine DeVoe, and Nabler was second. He came out one since. But I just think he's a big, strong horse. He's only going to improve as he goes forward. I just think he's very much a dark horse in the field. I liked how he did it at Leopardstown. I liked how he kept galloping and jumping, and he just kept pulling away. And he hit the line strong, and it took him a while to pull him up. I really liked what he done there. I think he's very much a dark horse.
Fair enough. You also got Gaelic Warrior and obviously Card Geese in there. We'll touch on the other two, though. The Yellow Clay for the Turners. You tipped him at 8 after he won the Grade 1 over in Ireland the other week. Do you see ground being the decision or the deciding factor as to whether he goes Turners or Albert Bartlett, or do you think that they will stick to the middle trip?
I don't think ground will be an issue at all. If we go back before he won the Lawlers and Ace, everyone was questioning whether he would go on the ground because it became so heavy on the day. So I don't think it'll come into the question whatsoever. And people are saying
he might try to utilise his stamina though, and perhaps that'll be better suited to a good to soft ground Albert Bartlett. Whereas if it's heavy or softer, he'll go in the Turners or not. Do you think it'll just be full steam ahead Turners?
No, I just think it's Turners. Like, I think people are getting perception that he's an out-and-out 3-miler based on him getting up to Pegback Florida Park on his third run. But I keep going back to, like, he beat that horse 12 lengths the time before that, if not more. But that was his third run within, I'm just looking at it here. He ran his first race on the 1st of November, then his second race on the 17th of November, and then it was the 7th of December. He had another run. So that's 3 kind of runs in quick succession from the start of your season. So I think he may be just feeling that. And to me, he doesn't look slow. There's not one bit about him that looks slow. You go back and look at the Lawlers and Ace. I know people say it was on heavy ground, but he just travelled the way through it, pulled him out, took it up until the last, and off he went. He picked up off his own pace.
The last one we'll touch on then, Galloping, the King, going for his 3rd Gold Cup. It's quite mad to think that there was 7-2 and possibly bigger earlier in the season about him after what he did to destroy Factor File at Leopardstown over Christmas. I know he's odds on in places. Last time I checked, he was best price 11-10. I won't ask you about his chances because I think that's clear for everybody to know. But I'll ask you, what do you think is his biggest danger other than him falling? What horse is his biggest danger in the Gold Cup?
Jesus, there's a question. It is like, I'm not being, I know it's probably sound stupid or anything, but is there a danger?
I think Banbridge is exposed. What about Banbridge on good ground?
Say again? Banbridge? No, Banbridge won't be in an arse's roar of him on good ground. No, I don't, like, he goes on any ground. I don't get this perception of people that say he needs heavy ground, really soft ground on the bad.
No, it's not because Galloping wouldn't perform on it. It just means that Banbridge would perform to his optimal if it was a good to soft, good to soft.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, Banbridge is not in the same league as him. He's not in the same stratosphere. Like, if there was one horse who would thrive for the test, Monty Star maybe, but because like he was finishing behind Factor File last year in the Browns, and I think the trip at Tramore was way too short for me. It looked like he took 2 blows going from the last to the second last. I think he might be an each way horse, but as a danger, I think the only dangers are in front of Galloping. I just can't see anything getting near him. Well, obviously something will get near him, like 4 or 5 lengths, but I just think he's bomb-proof going left-handed.
Fair enough. Sean, we'll move on to Jack shortly. We've got about 5 more minutes before the big one goes off. What would be your best bet if you to advise somebody for Cheltenham anti-post? Obviously, we do have Road to Cheltenham show on a Monday. We're all putting up our bets, so it's good to get a 1 or 2 from guests as and when they come on.
Yeah, I put up 2 during the week. I put up Angel's Dawn for the Hunter's Chase. It didn't cover me in glory because sadly it was put up the day before. But it was one I had in the locker. I just needed to make sure she qualified. Look, I think she's a 10-year-old mare now that's touching on. You normally say horses going into Hunter's Chases are on the decline. She's definitely not. She reached her highest mark last season of 142. and she heads into the Hunter's Chase. A division that, look, same horses turn up. It's on the line, has had 2 bashes at it now. He had every chance last year and couldn't get the job done. So you're willing to take him on. Sine Nominee won her last year. She's been tested in open company this year. I don't know if she's gone down that route or not yet. But then you look outside and you're sort of clutching our old straws. I think a horse that's obviously will go under the radar because not many people are going to be keeping their eye on Irish Point of Points, but that's how she's got herself qualified. She's had 2 runs around there, winning both, and now gets herself qualified. She'll head there. I genuinely think on the day she will be competing for favoritism. I think people will latch onto it. She's a long staying distance handicapper who does really well in big fields. Don't think that'll be an issue. She won the 2023 Kim Muir beat in Stumptown. She was running a cracker last year. Now, she's never going to beat her now the way I think, and he's a grade 1 horse. But she travelled in down the outside, unfortunately coming down to second last, but I think she's the only one that was sort of going as well as him at the time. And she's shown she goes well at the track. You have a good jockey in Park King. I'd say that's half the battle in these Hunter Chase races. And I think she's a bit of value. I think she was 8-1 during the week. I don't know if she's been clipped in a bit more now. But I think she's well worth it. I think she could be fighting for favoritism on the day, possibly going off 3-1, 7-2. And the second one I put up was the Wall Park handicapper for the Potemps. I think at the price he's at now, 10-1, I think he'll be JP's number 1 come the day. He's went on 4 runs at the start of the season and got himself qualified. He won the qualifier in October, nice and early, where he won well, plenty in hand. Gail Road was in second. We've seen what he done since. He's come out and come second to Lucky Place in Cheltenham. Last time out, boosting the form. There's 4 winners in behind that day. I think that's by far the strongest qualifier. I was having a look through, haven't been blown away by too much. I respect Andrews put up win some, lose some. I think he done very well to exploit his mark off 125 the last day. He's gone up 10 pounds. I just don't know if he's at the same level as the Wall Park. But if you look through them qualifiers, there isn't anything really screaming. There's nothing really down in second and third that'd be pulling your eye out. And I just think at 10-1 the Wall Park, if he's 4th string, I think he'd be going off about 3-1. You've seen him the last day. He got his run in the grade 1. Just thinking maybe he's not a grade 1 horse just yet, but I don't rule him out being one. I think he could be a little bit of a work in progress. He dug in well, showed a lot of guts the last day, came off at the third last, but stayed going all the way to the line. I was happy out. I'd say he'll have another spin, probably in graded company. He's off a mark of 152. The connections I've done with Sir de Bourlays in the past, I wouldn't rule out possibly. I'd love to see him get dropped a pound or 2 for a poor run in the grade 1, but I don't think it'll happen.
Fair enough. Jack, just briefly before we do get off, only by night for you, just pick out one of yours. Obviously, you've got some decent selections throughout the series. She's entered tomorrow over the extended trip, so hopefully she gets home and then she does line up in the Mare's Chase. 11-10 for tomorrow, but you put her up at a nice price that's shortened. Are you still happy with that?
Yeah, still happy. Whether she's an Arkle horse or not. Sorry, I'm just watching this bumper race here. Whether she's an Arkle horse or not, I'm not sure, but I reckon the Mare's Chase will be where she'll go. I'm pretty sure. I think she's entered in the next few weeks. Oh, Barry just stayed on.
Pipped by Gordon's. I'd say a good little race that.
Good, 3 good horses there. Sorry, Liam. Yeah, only by night. Yeah, I'm confident. She shortened the touch, but she hasn't been seen yet. She is entered. She is going to go the 2 mile 4. I think she is entered there at next weekend. I think that is. So we'll see her then. Hopefully she'll win there. All roads lead to Cheltenham, but can't really update anymore. But I haven't seen it yet. So
no, fair enough, mate. Jonbon's trying, by the looks of it, or Nico on board. Jonbon's looking to make the run in. I think that's probably the best way forward, isn't it? Point and shoot. Don't get stuck in behind an Energumene or let him have an easy lead. Is Edward Stone struggling slightly already?
He struggled on the way down to the start.
What? Keen, was he, Andrew?
Just not as good as he used to be. God bless him.
Yeah. He's not on his side, is it?
Visually, they look like they're not going that quick.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone got? I don't have at the races on, so.
Yeah, I'm
Get
not
the
sure.
clock out, Shawnee. Get the clock out.
Oh well, it's just interesting to see. It does look like he's getting his own way out in front, setting nice fractions. I'm surprised Paul is letting them do that. I thought Paul might have wanted to try and stretch him and make the most of it.
Yeah, put a bit of pressure on him.
I suppose tried and failed against Shishkin. Maybe I know that Shishkin would stays further than Jonbon.
Yeah, I just thought maybe like if he's any frailties, Jonbon's jumping sometimes. I thought you might have went up and put pressure on.
Yeah, pressure just jumping to see if win a bit of a piece. He has come alongside of me now, like so.
Yeah, he's pulling it. He's pulling strong there, enough.
Come to take fence number 5. Jonbon landed with the advantage. Second, Edward staying to the outside of the hill. Here's the first open ditch. It's fence number 6.
Yeah, they're starting to pick it up.
Yeah.
Oof.
Cold speed over that.
To the outside of the hill. Now they go towards the 7th. Jonbon in the get of the hill. And over the half lead from Energumene and Paul Town then.
He just doesn't seem to be meeting him on a stride, Jonbon. He's just getting in tight, isn't he?
He's getting over them, yeah. He's probably losing a length each time he jumps, just trying to get over them. He's tops over them, doesn't he?
He's picking her up now. I think he's better. Nico's best off riding his own race. There's no point in riding to beat one horse. You know, you go riding. Yeah.
He is prick loving life.
Yeah.
Do you want to make it a stamina test, though, is the thing? You know, Energumene stays further than this.
You'd say he stays too, but wouldn't you? What was it, 2.5 miles around the entry?
Yeah. Yeah. And Energumene is just sitting there, though. His Paul sitting there, just trying to put the pressure on Nico here.
No, tried. He's jumping out to his left a lot.
I don't know why. Nico was just trying to. He is trying to make it a stamina test. I just leave him up front and just. They all ran through that.
Now they're turning into a sprint now. Here we go.
Now we've got a race on. Energumene's still travelling well.
Why is he going so wide? Paul hasn't even. There we go.
Good job.
No, that's an Energumene beating.
Game over. Energumene.
You can't make mistakes like that.
Have we seen Energumene come off a pace ever?
No, he just makes the run.
Yeah. The champion chase, didn't he do that? Didn't he do it the first time they won the champion chase? They learned from the first.
No, that race fell apart. Shishkin was pulled up after 2. Shaq and Paul were unseated. He had Fernando Sivola and Envoy at 2 miles to beat. Good win.
I thought after they set the fractions in the Shishkin race, did they not resort to taking a pull on him and letting them get a lead? I can't remember. Could be wrong. I thought they resort
Against Shishkin.
Remember he made the front running, but didn't they go in the champion chase? Didn't they not take a lead? I thought they took leads on him. So I could be wrong.
We'll find out now.
Yeah. That's a very good performance. Look, people always say that.
Yeah, you're right.
I just thought maybe did.
I was
flew
in second mistake.
And
fourth. He took it up after 3 out.
Yeah, I thought he just learned out of the Shishkin. They might ride him a bit differently. But just in terms of Jonbon, look, people, I don't knock him. I just think come Cheltenham, it's just the circumstances are running around there going left-handed. Jonbon's a class horse. He's been beaten 3 times in his life. He's had to go on and beat Energumene there. I think he well deserves it. But I just do think although you might be blinded by it, I think you do need to take note of the Cheltenham form. And that's the only thing with the champion chase. Look, as Andrew touched on many a time, if that was around Sandown right-handed, if that was around Ascot right-handed, you'd say all day long Jonbon deserves his place in the market. I just think he might have a touch of frailties going left-handed around Cheltenham. I'm just not sure he's in love with it.
Do you not think if they'd done that at the champion chase and let Nico ride his own race on the front, if anything, they'd put Gaelic Warrior under pressure for jumping? They're both two similar horses, just that Gaelic Warrior is a lot more better around Cheltenham. I think if Nico done that around Cheltenham,
I don't think. No, I just don't. Look, we have enough evidence to suggest that he's not anywhere near as good as he is going that way around, especially at Cheltenham. Like, you have to take in consideration his 3 defeats have come at Cheltenham. Yeah. He's not brought his best form to the table at Cheltenham.
But he's unbelievable. Like, that tells you, like, he's 3 defeats in his career. Like, in terms of he turns up every day, and like it's the fact that he turns up every single day, bar at Cheltenham, just tells you, I think, how much he mustn't like it. Because if he's able to run his race, was it?
He's very good horse. But to be fair, the Supreme, he was beat by Constitutional. There's no.
Yeah.
But I think that the Nut race, he should never have been beat there. That's That was just that did put me off him a touch because I thought I loved him until he just
and then he's always there to make niggly mistakes like he done there already. He's always prone to leaving his mark on a fence, and champion chasers just don't do that.
But even if you remember in the Arkle, I thought nothing could beat him when he won that race at Sandown. Unbelievable. And his jumping does seem to go. His jump went off in the Arkle. It went off in that handicap chase that graded race where he ran against Elixir the Nuts. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just the undulations and going left-handed.
What was the horse that took the run up in the Arkle? What was it that took it from the front?
Outside Dynamo.
Yeah, Dysart Dynamo, and he at the back straight he clattered every single one. And to be fair, he finished strongly, but he was well beaten by El Fabiolo. But I think if they ride him from the front more prominently, like Nico's just done, it could be the same.
If you have a look at the markets after that, if anybody's interested and willing to forgive him, thinks that he potentially bounced after such a long layoff, you can get 10-1 with both Betfair and Paddy. So double figure price for Energumene. It wouldn't be for me. I think Ile Francais can have another glass of champagne in his box tonight, and hopefully they'll aim him at it and he can just go from the front and ping the life out of them.
See, that's what I hope will happen now. We've Ile Francais, and then Nico will decide he wants to do that now with him. They'll go at a breakneck gallop, and here's Paul on the dicky coming to the second last, pulls him out, and off we go.
Please go over and follow us again on the at RTC WatchAlong Twitter page, hoping to grow our following over there, so we'd appreciate anybody who does that. We'll be back Monday, of course, with reviewing all of today's action as well as anything tomorrow that's relevant on the road to Cheltenham. The next watch along is next weekend, Trials Day at the home of racing at Cheltenham. Lads, thanks ever so much for joining me and for your time, and we will obviously speak to everybody and also speak to you guys again on Monday.
See you later. Talk to you later.
See you.